Oh gosh, we're both jamming out to that awesome bumper that Joe created. Anyway, I want to welcome everybody to another edition of Comics Cast Let It Out on
Sorry,
October.
this is wrong. This is wrong. There we go.
How is that wrong?
No, I'm usually on this side.
Oh well,
my OCD, Gerald.
Oh well, I'm gonna throw a monkey wrench in there. Anyway, I want to welcome everybody to Comics Cast Let It Out on October 10th, 2021. For those of you who don't know what Comics Cast is about, we're all about the independent creator, the indie creator. So if you're in the industry, if you're a writer, an inker, a penciler, storyteller, publisher, you name it. If you're in the indie comics community, we want you on the show. So, and that leads us to what this show is about, which is Let It Out. We basically feature a guest from that community, and we draw along with them. And it's kind of like a draw and talk, an interview type thing. Hey, Saeed, it's good to see you again. Yeah, we're back to regular timing. I think the last 3 weeks have been kind of chaotic. We've had a little bit of technical difficulties all on my end.
We've had some technical Mac difficulties.
Yeah, right. For those of us on a Mac, which would be me, there's been some major hiccups on the Chrome operating system on the Mac and StreamYard, but hopefully everything will run smoothly and we'll have like a flawless show because we have a great guest this go around. But before we get to the guest, let's do what we call a little bit of Comics Cast housekeeping. So that being said, oh, I just realized we had the ticker running, so we've like spoiled that a little bit. Yes, so here we go.
Yeah, because you haven't promoted him all week. So.
No, I haven't promoted our guest at all. So that's a little bit of a spoiler. But anyway, here we have our Comics Cast YouTube page. We really wanted to get a lot of eyes on our Comics Cast YouTube page. And so if you found us on Facebook, it's just regular Comics Cast. But if you need to find us on YouTube, it's Indie Comics Cast. That's INDIE. And you can see from this, Rick has really gotten his scrolling technique down. Very well done. You're done really well. It's very smooth. You can see we have a plethora of videos here. So you can go here, check out all of our previous Let It Out episodes, as well as our Artist Roundtable, the ART, which is one of our other shows, as well as Rick's whopping super limited edition 2-episode awesomeness, which is the mentor block. It was so good, only 2 were made, right, Rick? Was that I forgot?
I mean, you have to know when to stop and you're not just milking it, you know.
I guess so. I encourage Rick to like pick that back up because it was great. Those mentor blocks were awesome, and maybe just maybe we'll get to see yet another edition of mentor block. But enough about Comics Cast and our YouTube page. Let's get the ball rolling because I want to make sure that we have this stable connection that we have right now. We hope it keeps on going on. Oh, here it is. Saeed, I agree with you. Mac is usually good. It's just bad for me for some reason. I think I just have a bad luck. But that being said, let's do the drum roll. I'll do the drum roll. Oh, he switched me again. I think we're going to be doing this all the time. I think that's what's going to happen. But anyway, I'm going to do the drum roll, and I'm going to let you get our guest in. So here we go. And our guest is... All right, Rick. If I damage my hands, I won't be able to draw. Come on.
You're talking as if you were talking as if you were able to draw to begin with.
Oh, that's true. Oh yeah, and the first blood has been drawn here. But anyway, it's not about me. So even if my hand was injured, it doesn't make a difference because we all came here to see my guest today, which is Jared B. Brown.
Yep. Hi guys, thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. Welcome. Say hi to everybody, Jared.
Hello, everybody.
That's what Rick does. Rick does that too. But anyway, let me change our little banner here at the bottom because here we have, this is how you can follow Jared. You can follow him on Twitter, as well as there are 2 Instagram handles there. You can check it out. We will be showing that a little later on, but I don't want you to go there yet because we want your eyes on here right now. And while we're at it, I forgot to do this. I'm going to copy this to our comments field, which is that way people can see it. And unless Rick, you didn't do it already, did you?
Nope.
Okay, I did it. It's there. So it's in the comments field.
Nice.
So that way, if people can check it out, they can go there later on, but go there later on. We want you to be here today, right now, in the moment, because we want to see what Jared Brown is all about. So, Jared, welcome to the show. We had a really fun pre-show yesterday. I'm hoping that we don't have any of those technical gremlins come out of the woodwork, but I learned a lot. I purposely decided not to get too deep in into the nitty-gritty about your IPs and your studio, because I want to be surprised, just like our guests and Rick, of course, so that way they can know a little bit more about you. So that being said, let's move to the part of the show that we call the elevator pitch. And for our audience, new audience participants, just so you know, the elevator pitch, it's like, what if you were stuck in an elevator with a high-powered executive or somebody that could move your IP to the next level? In this case, let's say, Jared, you were stuck with all the image creators and you had a chance to pitch your IP. Now, the good news is you don't have one floor to just talk about yourself. You have the whole skyscraper to do that. So give us the download, give our audience the download, who you are, what you're about, your particular art journey, up to when we get to the live drawings where we get to reveal your IP and your studio. So that being said, the mic is now in your hands. Let's learn about Jared.
Oh boy, no pressure. Well, I've been drawing for as far back as I can remember. I think I started on the funnies. You going through the Garfield strip, stuff like that, and just copying and wanting to draw and wanting to be a cartoonist, and just kind of progress. Yeah, you're all into cartoons. Even as a young kid, you used to watch, we were there at the birth of MTV, and I remember Aha coming on with Take On Me. Yeah.
Yes.
And I remember seeing that, and I was like, oh my God, I want to draw like that. I want to do stuff like that. And just as you went along, I grew up in the Transformers age, of G.I. Joe. But personally, I think it was the best time that you could grow up with that kind of stuff. There were so many different stories, so many different influences, styles, just from all over the place. And it carried over into being, into middle school, high school. You're just constantly drawing, constantly doing stuff. And I would probably say about the 94. I'm trying to think when Gargoyles first. Actually, honestly, I'm sorry. The Batman the Animated Series was probably the first big kick up. Yeah. That show was just mind blowing. It was amazing. You were glued to the TV every day it was on. You couldn't wait to watch it. And, I had only seen scant previews of Gargoyles, and that show came on.
Ooh, yeah.
And then that thing just completely, that was it, over the top. It was a huge influence. And I think what I really liked about that show in general was the huge sandbox that they created for, you could go anywhere in the world. They tapped into all manner of legends and stories and beliefs, and just a wide array of things that you could go with. And I think that's where it really started to build with my stuff. Was I wanted that big rich world that you could expand. You wanted to see everybody, where have they been, what are they going to get into. And of course, around sixth grade was the first comic I ever read. Funny enough, it was What If the X-Men Lost Inferno. So my first introduction was Wolverine, being possessed, and people getting taken out left and right. I was like, oh my God. And then that was my first book I picked up. I saw it in a bookstore out on a rack. It was a Wolverine by Mark Silvestri, and that was it. I was completely hooked after that, and just been collecting ever since. So,
and it's gone downhill ever since that book. Almost,
yeah, well,
because that's one of the most intense stories. I remember it from when I was a kid.
Well, I remember.
Inferno? Are you talking about Inferno or?
Yeah.
Inferno was big. Inferno was rough, and then, I think one of the biggest, up until the point where Wolverine lost the medal, I think was the height of everybody just ravenous and going. I mean, the death of Superman, Wolverine, the new launch of the X-Men, everything was just, those first couple years in the early 90s were absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, and I have to agree with you in terms of that, because both you and I, we talked about this yesterday. We're both 80s babies. We grew up in that time period where we saw, I guess it was kind of like that renaissance of just awesome animated TV series. Everything from G.I. Joe, Thundercats, Gargoyles, Batman the Animated Series. I mean, there was just so much goodness there, and it influenced so many of us. I mean, so many of the guests that are in our age group. And I think I know you mentioned Silvestri, but we talked a little bit about how the formation of Image in the 90s, how that influenced a lot of us. And I see that in a lot of the artwork here that we're showing here. And it's just so neat to see, what you've done, what you've taken from your, into your art journey and how you're building on that. Saeed, it's all of our favorites too. When you mentioned Aha, I know you didn't talk about that yesterday, but I think I saw that video and I bought that on cassette and, saved up my allowance and bought that on cassette. I think I still have that. But yeah, that was a great video. Yeah, we're getting a lot. Our comments field is active here.
But I don't understand. I don't understand you saying our age group, Joel. I mean, I'm sure, you talked about the 80s, but when it's you, it's the 1780s.
Ooh.
I age pretty well here, 1780s, the 80s, it's all the same to me. But yeah, I'm so impressed with your artwork here, Jared. We're gonna go back in here. I've been just flipping through it, and let's just actually go back to the beginning because I'm in the middle of the stuff that you sent me out. We have a lot more to show here, but let's go back to this. Because I think you had talked to me a little bit about how it was the late 90s. It's a very excellent pose here. You talked to me about it was the late 90s, and you decided to form your own studio. And here we have it was called Darkstream Studios, and from there, let's tell us a little bit about why you wanted to do that. Did you have your IP before you did your studio, or did you do a studio first and then come up with the IP? I don't know which is the chicken before the egg or the egg before the chicken. I'm not sure. Let's hear a little bit about Advent Dark as well as Darkstream Studios a little bit, and we're going to show a little bit of this art here.
Darkstream, I would say, popped up in '94. About then, it was kind of like that whole Jared Brown's art just didn't sound very catchy, and I'm like, what's something cool? At the time too, in the '90s, everything was like big guns and all sorts of so I was like, well, I gotta come up with something snazzy, something catchy. And I originally went pouches. I kept it low on pouches. I actually didn't go too crazy with pouches, but
yes, you didn't.
But with that, it was like I think I originally wanted dark light, and I did it quick. At the time the internet was blossoming. There was still, you could get enough information. And I think I had already found somebody with the name. So I'm like, okay, so let's try Darkstream Studios. And it fit, and took off with it. And I just always kind of used it as the umbrella name to what to stick onto all my stuff. And I progressed through that up until today. I mean, I used it all this time. But Advent Dark actually was called a different name. At that time, I had different characters, different ideas, because, again, I came back to the Gargoyles. I love that they went everywhere in the world. That was when they took the Phoenix Gate and they were on the boat from Avalon. Like, they were just all over the world and all these cool places and all these cool characters they met. And I was like, well, I want to do that. I want my guys to be everywhere. I don't want them centralized in just New York. And that's what I ended up. I do that for fun. I'll tell you what's great about that. People with the facial the recognition of the logo is enough of it that it's ingrained in their head. And I'll see them walk by and they're like, oh, Wendy's. And then they stop like, wait a minute, that's not Wendy's. Like, what is that? And it's like one of my favorite things I've done. I absolutely love that one. I made it into a shirt. I walk around with it. Like, I'm actually wearing it right now. I've got it. And I've got the same color as the Wendy's shirt. Like, it's just enough to mess with them because your brain, that's what advertising does. It burns that into your brain, and when there's a strange alteration to it, it stops people in their tracks for a second. You get like a triple take. Like, what is that?
Well, yeah, I think that's one thing that I learned from you too, is that not only are you a talented artist, I lost count of how many things that you do aside from being a great illustrator. You also you have a graphic design, come from a graphic design sensibility, so that's also where I come from. So I was particularly drawn to this this piece because like you said, it had enough brand identity. Yep, get to the bacon cheeseburger. Get to the bacon cheeseburger.
Get to the Whopper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Whopper
that's
is
Burger
Burger
King.
King. You don't want to go there, but if
But
you're
it
Wendy's.
sounded like Chopper, so that's why.
It did. But I think that's one of the cool things that you brought to the table with your illustration style is that you definitely have graphic design sensibilities. And this was one of the things that I was immediately drawn to. And aside from being a great illustrator, you do pencils, you're an inker, you do coloring, you do layout. You did say that you are a great creator. Oh, let's see, we got Roy in here. And what's with the mustache, Rick? Okay. I'll let Rick just to talk about that a little later on. But what I was going to say about Jared is it's really great to see that you can leverage your graphic design talents into comic book design. You see that here in some of your illustrations. Hey, Allison, how are you? So this is really, really striking because it's so iconic to know what the Wendy's icon is, and then you to seamlessly integrate the Predator into it. It's a show. It's a stopper.
It took me a while to get that face to match hers. It was like how much of a focus the headbands, stuff like that. But I think it perfect to what I wanted.
Yeah, I think we got a little.
As you guys could hear, Jared sometimes does get a robot voice, so he'll pop in and out, and and that's the best way we can get this fixed. We apologize.
All right.
So 1 second. So while he do this, hello, Allison, and welcome. I don't think we said welcome to Charles either.
Hey, Charles.
Goes under. Will you draw in camouflage?
Oh, then she would be invisible.
Yeah. Jared. Even Jared sounded like a predator there.
Oh yeah. Joe noted that. Okay, go ahead. Let's.
Testing.
Oh, you fixed it.
Yeah, it might sneak in again. I have no clue what it is. I can't find the problem anywhere.
We're just gonna say that is a special effect. Jared does. He does voice acting on the side, where he does the deep predator robot voice. So anyway, so let's keep on going here. So. We're going to continue to look at this artwork. Obviously, you're also a fan of Star Wars, and you mentioned gargoyles. There's we talked about image. So obviously, this is kind of like a she-spawn illustration here.
Yeah, it's a new one they just came out with. Actually, I liked her design.
And then of course, I love this fusion that you did with Batman and the Mandalorian, and I don't know, it's just. I'm a big fan of fusion art. So when I told Rick about that, of course, his eyes lit up because usually his co-host the Rick challenges are all about fusion. So just really, really like that. And, so in terms of your, you talked about how you've been drawing basically since you were born. And, you're talking about how long you've been drawing. Are you basically a self-taught, digital artist? I'm assuming these are all digital pieces. Did you just sort of learn to color on your own, or did you was that something that you picked up a little later on, or?
No, I just you learn the basics and then you start picking up on people's techniques, how they do things, the little tricks and tips, brushes, layering, effects, any little thing you can pick up. It's just a Frankenstein of and then you try things and you're like, well, I like this a little better, and then you adapt it to your own style.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I have a real Ula Moss is one of my favorite colorists. Her stuff is just absolutely insane. She can blend, she can gradiate things in and out. It's just crazy, and I'm not as well versed with it. So I've started to kind of adapt a cell shade / I guess you'd say an airbrushing kind of layering, and it seems to work a little better for me. But you're always improving or trying to improve or trying to learn different ways of doing stuff. So
I know, and it's always funny. It's sort of hey, Jared, after the show, can you send me your brushes? Because that's that old funny thing is hey, if I get Jared's brushes, I can paint like Jared, which is always not true. It's always sort of that's something that you have to kind of pick up on your own. And what I like about this is your experimentation. You have a great grasp of color theory. And what I noticed about this thing is it's one thing to do, you said you're talking about cell shading, coloring, and kind of maybe that more photorealistic and airbrushing. But what I liked, what I was drawn to this piece, and it's so coincidental that it's October because here in America, I don't know if it is there in Rickland, but we have Halloween coming up, and it's just so cool that I put this at the end to show here because it was kind of neat. you have this really cool, it's usually having the, sometimes you might want to put the dark in the back and the light in the front, but you kind of reverse it a little bit. So it has a nice silhouette because obviously with a jack-o'-lantern having that beaming color inside the pumpkin. But what was neat, what I liked about this is that you also added these really, I've never seen like this hatch technique used as a graphic element in the background, used as kind of like visual noise, but it's so effective. I mean, even these kind of like, I don't know, I'm going to say they're kind of like origami, kind of like paper shapes there in the background, but it adds to this whole like supernatural feel to it. Like, what were you in for this particular piece? Was that something? Was that a Jared thing, or did you see something and maybe you said, you know what, I might try this?
Well, you find stuff that's similar, but it's like my own take. They're brushes and stuff, and they have a scattering effect. So if you click around, they just start like flying out all over the place, kind of thing. It gives you a nice texture.
Mm-hmm. And it's really brilliant, and I like even the rim lighting that you did here to really make this. I mean, it's not a silhouette because you can obviously see the textures in it, but very effective piece, just really cool. But let's talk about Advent Dark here. So and this is your character. Hint. This is Danny. You may be seeing her a little bit later, and when we do some of our drawing challenges. But let's talk just a little bit. Give us a 1,000-foot overview in terms of like what Advent Dark is about, and we won't go into like too much information about the individual characters, but just like give us a little bit about who these characters are. I mean, what this comic book is about. We'll go into who the characters are a little bit later.
Yeah, it's a little bit of Hellboy meets Men in Black. We have her as like the head of this government agency. Well, the lead, I should say, the lead agent, kind of like a Hellboy. She's got somebody above her that instructs and does everything, and anything that shows up on Earth, alien-wise, or if it's a cult, again, that all-encompassing, trying to pull stuff in from different areas, different cultures, things like that. She might have to go, fight a banshee in Ireland, or she goes and something in China, whatever pops up, or there's a crash landing and this virus gets out or whatever, and they're trying to stop it. Like, it's just anything I can think of to make it interesting and fun, and and that's her whole thing. That's the whole crew there.
Yeah, I guess you want to do a roll call in terms of who these characters are. I know this is Danny and this is Wyatt. In terms of who we might be drawing later on. But let's hear about the rest of this gallery of the crew that's a part of Advent Dark.
Well, these two on the left, that's Squeak and Weef. The one is actually based on my writer. It's really hilarious. The big one there. There are a couple of aliens that they crash landed near Vegas and were hanging out, and they learned culture and everything through hanging around the outskirts of Vegas. So they're a real good time. They're mechanics, so they're in the base. They work on the ships and everything. They keep things running smooth. The guy with the green, that's a Bob. And what they are is they're bioorganic batches. They're basically like the androids from, well, let's say something like Aliens, like the Bishop android. They're all synthetic, but they all run on a giant head that like he controls all of them. So every Bob is connected. They all you could talk to one or the other, and it's still the same guy. He's just got a bunch of different bodies that he runs. They're the drones of the base. They do everything from heavy lifting to scientific work, whatever. And the big head is always running them. So they're a lot of fun because you can do tons of different versions of them, whatever you want.
I just had this image of like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the big head that's in the tube.
That was the joke, yeah. Or like the Wizard of Oz, like the big head in Wizard of Oz, or the Supreme Intelligence from
Supreme Intelligence, Creed, right?
That's like the little nod to it all. Yeah, it's just for fun. And then I've got this guy down here. He has a little resemblance to Ultron. His name is Simon, and it's like I can't remember off the top of my head what I have. I think I just like the I in Simon is a 1, and the 0 or the O is a 0, so it's like a little play on it. But he started out as like a floating head who taught Danny a lot of stuff as she grew up. He was kind of there as like not like a babysitter, but helping her, teaching her things, stuff like that. And as she's grown, so is he. So now he's got like a full body, and he's almost like a father figure to her in a sense. He's part of they built the AI from the ship that crashed, that her stuff came from and everything. Yeah. So He's got
like
a
a C-3PO Mr. Miyagi. How about that?
In a sense, yeah. Yep.
And this is just a taste of what the secondary characters are in this comic. And obviously we have Danny and Wyatt here at the top. So it's really cool the way you arrange this. And like I said, this is just a taste of what Advent Dark is all about. I encourage you to check out the URLs here at the bottom and support Jared. Not now, later on. And so you can find you can definitely check out and learn more about Advent Dark. I'm going to keep on going here, and you can see that just really a dynamic style that Jared has here. It's very visually striking, and I was immediately drawn to it. You really have a good, like I said, I can see a nice sense of graphic design, but it has that punchy color.
It's the layout, the color theory and the layout all come into play. Yeah,
very, very cool. And as we go through here, this is what I thought was really neat when you decided to fuse some of your loves of Star Wars with it's like you're kind of like fan arting yourself by adding Star Wars into it.
It's like a cosplay she can play.
Yeah, it was so neat. So this is like the Jedi. I guess it would be would this be she has green sabers, so I guess she'd be like a Jedi warrior, and then we also have a Sith version here. I bet these are hits. Do you go to cons, or when cons were? I know that cons are starting to slowly make a comeback, but I imagine if you did prints of these probably were some of your more popular ones, right?
These never got to the cons. I think I did these right as COVID was starting to kick up, and everything was canceled, so they've been kind of sitting. I've made some trading cards out of them and stuff like that, but I haven't made any large size prints just yet because just haven't had a chance.
Well, wait, that's another I'm glad I can say this is kind of like a semi-exclusive. I know that you debuted it on your social media, but it's nice. I want everybody to go out and check out cons. I know that you're in the Pennsylvania area, right? That's
yep.
So I guess are you planning? I guess New York Comic Con, that's this weekend, but maybe Baltimore. Do you go down to Baltimore Comic Con?
I have done Baltimore for many years. Last two, again, I've been kind of spotty. So Baltimore was a very good show. I've always enjoyed going down there. They have a nice setup. Everybody's everything's put together very well. I like it. So
hopefully I can. I don't think I'll be able to make it down this year, but now I know several creators that were on the show. They do make the trip down to Baltimore Comic Con. So if you're in the Mid-Atlantic region of the United States, or if you want to make the trek to Baltimore Comic Con, I guess you said you're not going to be there this year, but maybe
no, not going to make it this year.
Okay, well, you're just going to have to settle for getting in touch and following Jared, so that way you can possibly maybe get him to do some prints. I imagine these would be really big hits at Comic Con. That they're very cool here to see digitally. But let's keep the ball rolling and show some more of the artwork here. And I got partway through this when you're doing your elevator pitch. But let's go ahead and talk about this particular thing. Now, these are some covers from Advent Dark. And when I first saw this, I was like, wow, it's Jared is a master of many styles. But apparently he told me, he goes, no, these were done by a lot of different artists, a lot of collaborators, contributors. And I think that goes to show that Jared has such a really cool IP that he's attracted, and uncontracted.
He's attractive, all right. I mean, what?
Yes. Yeah, definitely that too. He's able to get a really talented artist to do their interpretations. Yeah, you gotta keep Rick's temperature down. He's
it's the beard. I'm sorry, Rick. It's the beard.
Yeah, that's why I shaved mine off.
Oh yeah. And then for me, I'm totally unattracted because I don't even have any facial hair.
You said it.
Yeah. All right, back to the art. Let's go back to the art.
Oh, man.
And here we go. We were talking about all these different artists that helped out and contributed, and it was so neat to see these different interpretations by different artists. But like I said, it's just so neat to see what other talented artists see when they see your IP. You want to talk a little bit about these particular artists as we go through these?
Yeah, this is Joe Hawley's piece here. He's out of New York. I met him. I have a local shop that does two shows. One's in Scranton, one is in Williamsport. So we're up there in Scranton, and I ended up sitting next to Joe and ended up talking, and I really liked his work. He's got a very unique look to everything, and I I said, "Hey, do you want to do a cover?" He was like, "Absolutely." So he said he goes, "I absolutely love drawing these characters. They're so much fun." So I got him. Yeah, I got him on board for that one.
And I take it this is Wyatt in his non-bear form, right? Which is
yes, he's a Navajo. Yep.
Yeah. All right, so let's keep on going here.
This
I
is
love this cover. Who's this?
This is Kyle Witkowski. He's out of Lewisburg. He's worked on both issues so far. He's working already on number 3 for me, and I love Kyle's style. He's just got something that it's akin to like anime. He does a lot of anime stickers and pictures and stuff, and he's very popular with all that. He just kills it, and I love his colors. So I mean, when I saw his stuff, I was like, I had to have him doing the work here. Yep.
I love it a lot. And then we have this, which is more of a kind of like a more realistic interpretation, but
this is Matt Flint.
Matt Flynn? Is that
Matt Flint. I'm like drawing away. I'm pretty sure he's out of New York as well. But I met him at a couple shows. Like we've done Saratoga and a few others here. He's been down to Baltimore and stopped by and such. And he was the first. One of my fans there up in Saratoga had him draw a fan art of my character. It was the first time I ever had anybody draw my character, and she paid him to draw the fan art for me in celebration of the first issue.
Oh my gosh.
And I have it up on the wall. I absolutely loved it, and he did a great job, so I had him do one as well here. So
I really like the characters. It's just everything's done right here. I just as soon as you see her, you get attracted to the style, attracted to what she looks like. She's you did good there. With putting her together, like what you need in to get the attention of the reader.
Yeah,
and I don't know. I mean, other things than there's also the suit and the weapon.
The little cheesecake there, maybe.
It wasn't just chesticles.
What are you talking about? Yeah,
it wasn't just the chesticles.
I think I know where he's going with this. Yeah.
No, I mean, I did mean, kidding aside, I did mean overall. It's the design is very cool,
he meant
very
overall.
unique. Well, shut up.
Yeah. Also, I firmly believe that a female lead can be strong, tough and sexy at the same time. You do not, there's plenty of them out there. There've been plenty of them, and anyone who says otherwise is crazy. You can definitely have them. They can be the doesn't matter. They can be the lead of everything and still kick everyone's butt. So, you gotta have some boobage. That's why I said I'm influenced heavy by the '90s. I mean, it was big guns, big pouches, and big everything else. So, I mean,
everything was big guns, big okay. And it works. I think that's a really great style. And
I don't think it's ridiculous or anything. Yeah.
No, it's
exactly. So here we have another artist. Do you recall who did
No, this was me.
Oh, that was you. Of course,
that's me.
Wow, Gerald. Wow.
Yeah, okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yep. No, it's like sometimes my style will vary a little bit depending on my day. Believe it or not.
Don't save him, Jared.
That's the 6th version of that cover I did before I was finally happy with it. So I mean, like I was at a point I think where I was just having a really bad day with stuff, and I was really nervous about my first cover. What am I going to put on this? What's the first thing going out to everybody, to the world, to see it and be like, wow, that's an eye catching. That's a lot of pressure. So I mean, I was happy with it.
I think you nailed it, and it looks really. What I really think is what you add to it is that like we talked about that whole cell shading thing that you kind of mastered with your color. But what I like about it also is that you've really, what I've noticed about your style is the texture that you add to it. So the main character will have that cell shaded like coloring, but then you put in the background and even in the foreground, the particle effects and those just the neat, obviously when people, I think Marvel has been popularizing this, is that when everybody used to think of space. Like in the 80s, it's always black. It's just really, it's that stark black with twinkling stars. Star Wars did that, of course. But then when Marvel decided to do it, I know that Guardians of the Galaxy was just so, when they depicted space with its rich colors and things like that. I think when the Hubble telescope pictures came back and they showed all these like star factories and they layered all these different light filters on it to bring out like the the colors that are in the universe. And I just thought, when I look at this, it's the same thing. It has that same vibrancy, that you're not showing space as just being black and white. It's these colors.
Everybody loved the Kirby Crackle. Like the Kirby Crackle was like the de facto space. I mean, and Kirby his stuff was just phenomenal. So I mean, everybody wanted to imitate and copy it. And
Kirby Crackle.
There. Allison just said it. Yep.
She wrote it as soon as you mentioned it, as if Hive Mind.
Mm-hmm.
She's one of the. We're all part of the Bob mind here. We're all part of the Hive Mind. So here, this is another really cool one, and we were talking about anime and manga. This has kind of like a fusion of that Western and Eastern influence. And
I went a little more nuts on this one. Like I tried to get a little more fluid with her, and but that's the difference from that first issue, like that first cover to this one. You can see the difference. I went already. So
you are a man of many different styles. It just looks really cool, and I'm a fan of like the worm's eye view. So when I saw this, it really, I was drawn to this as well, and it's just really, really neat, just really cool here.
No, Allison, it's called perspective.
It's
total perspective, and
it's perspective. Don't you know boobs? Hello.
and then we're gonna end with. I mean, for this segment of covers, let's look at this one. This one, I was really drawn to this as well. It's iconic. If those of you that are a fan of the Evil Dead series, this is an homage to that cover or that poster that was for Evil Dead, and yet Jerry was able to weave in his IP into this, and it's just really brilliant. I want to talk a little bit about
I love the Evil Dead series, Bruce Campbell. I mean, it's just Raimi in general, all sorts of fun stuff. And I thought, what could I do that's really fun? That would be, because I was working on a what do you call it? Not my science project, the Weird Science. I was going to have Danny standing in the door with the whole, what do you want? I have it drawn out, but it just wasn't working. But I had her, she has the shirt, she's got the little shorts on and stuff. And, what do you maniacs want to do first? And it just wasn't working the way I wanted it. So I went with this one, and this one I was far happier with. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, this turned out brilliant. But, now that you've told me about the Weird Science version, I got to see that. I hope you will go revisit that. And
I might revisit it, just for,
We got somebody here, Saeed, who's a big supporter of our guests, of all of our guests. He wants to get issue 1. Do you have these available as PDFs? I know that Saeed is out in I think he's in Dubai, or he's out in the Middle East. So I don't know if he wants a print copy or if he wants a digital copy. Can if they reach out to you on Instagram or Twitter, or do you want to talk about do you have a storefront or something like that?
I actually do. I have a .com. It's adventdark.com, and I do have a shop. There are some that are out because I literally, within the last month, I sold out of a whole bunch. And this week, I'm putting new orders in for some of the covers. And with some of the other guys, though, like Joe, Mac, and Kyle on issues 1, there were only so many made because they were for Kickstarter people, the exclusives only. So, I mean, if you went to the Kickstarter, you put the money down, you got that special cover. Right. And I don't go really past that because whatever I have left is sold. That's it. And some people are like, why are you only doing so many? It's because those people, came in, they put the extra money down, and they deserve to have a very special cover that, isn't available to just everybody.
I totally agree with that.
Yep.
That is.
Was it adventdark.com?
Yep, adventdark.com. Yep.
Okay, because I was just editing the.
Oh, there we go. There we
go. Yep. There you go.
Good, Rick. So there you go. That's how you can go to the shop and check out that you can. I think Saeed said either. So can they get digital copies as well as?
Yep. I have digital for everything. Yep.
Okay, awesome.
And you ship international?
I have not shipped anything internationally. I've heard there's a lot of horror stories going on with that right now. Some people, their shipments are just getting lost.
Yep.
It's so expensive, and it makes me sad that it has to be that way.
I lost $500.
Oh,
recently.
Yeah.
So
well, I think that for international, I wish that we could say that postage or delivery would be a little bit better, but we have to worry about that. But hey, Marius, we got Marius on here, so I'm glad that he stayed up. So just want to let you know, Jared, Marius is from the Philippines, so he's up. It's like 1:47 in the morning. So
I appreciate you staying up. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to see you, Jared. That's what he's doing. And hopefully maybe Marius will be doing some fan art, of your stuff when we get to the live drawing challenges. But that is really cool. We're talking about Kickstarters and Kickstarter exclusives. I don't think Kickstarter is a sustainable model versus like a monthly thing, but I think that when you do a Kickstarter, when you do a crowdfunding, I think that it's really good for those initial, like, let's grab our the audience's attention, and I think it's a good vehicle for things. But I don't think that it can keep up with the volume. If you really want to do a monthly comic, or if you want to have that kind of viability, because obviously I've supported Kickstarters. I love our guest stuff, and but it gets expensive. But when you say that you have a exclusive cover that's just for your Kickstarter, that I think Allison said that that's what makes it legit. That's what makes it meaningful, because you eventually, maybe you can get that issue like at a local comic book shop. I think that would be awesome. Or maybe you can get it later on. But to reward those backers who believe in you during your Kickstarter campaign and have that level of exclusivity, that's a bonus. That's what makes it like, hey, I feel like not only have I supported an artist that I love, but I get something that's unique to that particular Kickstarter. So I really think that's great that you did that, and you surrounded yourself with really great talent. So let's keep on going down here. Let's look at some more Advent Dark. This is issue number 2.
This was issue 2.
It's so good. I mean, I just look at this and it reminds me of
Man.
Yeah, but it's like the Walking Dead Green Men. It's just really cool.
Somebody asked me. Yeah, somebody asked me. They said they go, do you want to do a cover like, I think my writer said, he goes, do you really want to do a cover that has nothing to do inside the book? I said, yeah, absolutely. I said, how many times have you picked up a book and there was nothing like that going on in the book, but it was cool looking on the cover? And it's like, yeah, that's like, I definitely want to do something. Her getting dogpiled by a bunch of crazy Area 51 escapees. I said she went out there, and
I see where one of them is looking. I see. I know what they want.
I'm just gonna have to cover them up from now on. We're just gonna pull the jacket up over, and it's it's the only way I'm gonna be able to do it now.
I think Rick is all hot and bothered,
by don't blame me. This is his design.
I'll be doing a swimsuit edition. I'll make sure it's all the guys for him.
All right. I think so.
If you put that as the special cover for the Kickstarter, I'm all in, even if it's $500.
Oh, there you go. You might have to personally deliver that if he's gonna invest $500.
I'm gonna have to start doing covers with guys' butts on it now, just to balance it all out and see.
I'll buy that as well. I'm not picky.
Getting back to the art here, I also think, and we were talking about 80s type stuff. When I saw this, aside from like maybe the Walking Dead vibes to it, I also get like, I don't know, were you a Tron fan? Did you love the Tron movies? Did you?
It's funny. I knew of Tron, but I really didn't get into it when I was younger. But then when they did the remake, oh my god, I just loved it. The music, everything, just beautiful, beautiful movie. Marvel was doing the heroes and all that up in Tron before they were purchased by Disney. They were actually doing Tron covers that were gorgeous. Like, it was a lot of fun. And I think And I love the soundtrack. I mean, that soundtrack's ridiculous.
Yeah, the soundtrack was really, really good. A Daft Punk really just nailed that whole thing. And when I looked at this, it actually reminded me of kind of like a Tron. It had a Tron vibe.
Yeah, that was the whole
a thing. But here we go from this color palette, and this is showcasing Jared's mastery of this color theory. We go from this blues and greens to this. Oh, and this is done by I think this shows
me.
Wyatt. That's you. And I'm just looking at
Carol, goddamn it.
There are no boobs. Well, there are pecs. There are pecs in this one.
No, I said Carol because he keeps missing up the audience.
Well, this is one of those things. We're showing all the art here, and we're all getting to know.
I know.
But I totally dig that this whole Freddy Krueger thing with the claws of Wyatt here, and I just like it just really has a mystical vibe, and this whole supernatural Indian approach that you're going for. You want to talk a little bit about this cover?
Yeah, that's the whole the implication here. In the second book, we explore Wyatt, and he's a skinwalker, but not by choice. He's been bonded to a tortured bear spirit, and in order for the curse to take hold, they have to do something horrible for it to grip. And I try to be respectful of the source material and stuff. I know that's not something that the Native Americans like to talk too much about, so it's a little tough to find the information, but I've always found it to be a very tragic and very interesting aspect of some of their beliefs and everything. So this thing here takes him over. It doesn't necessarily have to be evil, but it's been bonded to a good man that's making him do bad things, or it like brings out the worst, and that's the struggle with him trying to be a good man and having this thing. It's kind of a Hulk-ish kind of aspect to it. It's not just rage. This is just pure primal.
I want you to save a little bit about that, because like I said, I hinted about how what we're going to be doing for our live drawing. So I would love for you to dig a little bit deeper in terms of who Wyatt is and the whole mythos behind his particular character, because I definitely have some things that I'd love to talk to you about that. But yeah, this is a good tease to talk about what one of our future live drawing things are going to be like. So that being said, I think Joe, there was a comment that popped up in here. How many actual books, finished books do you have? I know that you said your issue 3 is coming out soon. And is that correct? Did I hear that right?
Well, I'm currently working on issue 3 right now. Like, I'm a couple pages in drawing and everything, and I'll have the whole thing drawn out, and then I'll give it to the writer, and then we'll see how long it takes to get that all. So like writing, coloring, drawing, like it takes longer because it's all, all the assembly is a one-man show for me. So in between a full-time job, it's when can you get home to do it, and how long can you put in for the night? Yeah.
And you're like I said, you're like a one-man band. You play all the instruments when it comes to your comic, and I just think it's really cool. So you can get those first 2 issues, obviously, by going to adventdark.com. But 3 is like in production. I think it's wrapping up pretty soon. But yeah,
and I do have the little ash can is going to be. I'm still debating on where to put it. If it's going to be a little promo before the 3rd Kickstarter. So if people want to get it or something, they want to catch up, like it's a little bridge. It's a 12-page bridge between 2 and 3. So that'll be a little thing there.
Yeah, I think that for those of us in the 90s, we remember ash cans were just a big thing. And I think that's kind of neat. I think you even showed me. Do you have your little mini ash can that you kind of like put together as a prototype?
Yeah, he's like, so where's my can? Yeah, he's like an itty-bitty one here. I mean, it's going to be much bigger than this, I promise. But yeah, I mean, like they're the little... There's the Bob, and I set it in Scranton for fun. I almost was going to put Dwight and probably Michael from The Office in it, but I didn't. I had a little nod instead to my comic shop up there, the Comics on the Green. They're pretty great people. I've had my books in there for sale and stuff. So I've been going there for years. It's a great little shop, and I wanted to do a little nod to the workers and whatnot in there. So
yeah, Saeed says here, love 90s style comics. I do too. It's so neat to see that here we are, like 21 years removed from the 90s, and then we're seeing like this kind of like this resurfacing of like the 90s love. And I think that for us growing up in that time period as well, it just shows that when you do these Kickstarters, we're definitely playing on the feels of nostalgia. That's come back there, and it's a great time for you to embrace that style and put that in your artwork, because it definitely resonates with a lot of people. So let's keep on going here. We have another art piece here. This is really cool to show, because this is what we're going to be drawing as our live drawings from your IP. You want to talk a little bit about this cover?
Yeah, this is Chris Mad cover here. He's got a very unique style. His stuff is. He does some really great horror stuff, zombies, everything. I mean, and when I saw him, when he gave me the line work for this, I was, oh my God, it's like that bear. That bear makes you uncomfortable. Yeah, it's a great shot, and the coloring was just spot on. I really, really liked it.
Blows my mind, and I just really like the whole, the neon aspects for both of these characters. Just adds a nice visual accent to it. And then when we were looking at more of the covers, this one blew my mind. I was immediately drawn to this one too.
I love this one. This is my favorite.
Is just very use of minimal. This is graphic design. This is the graphic design and Jared coming out. I just like how you broke it down to the essentials. You want to talk a little bit about this piece and why it's so visually striking?
I wanted a glow-in-the-dark cover in the worst way. Like, I just think that those are so much fun, and I'm like, well, this would be perfect. Couldn't find anyone doing a glow-in-the-dark cover. Either if I did find them, it was a ridiculous amount of money, which I understand because it's a special kind of cover, but it's like I just couldn't, so I went with the white and stuck it. I mean, I think it worked. Yeah, all the negative space alone was enough to really get the point across, but they almost consider doing, I think they're calling them Virgin covers now, where they take, nothing's on the cover at all. It's just straight up artwork. And I had actually thought about doing a version of it where there was no name on it, nothing, just the face. But, we stuck it out with just the one version of it. So
I could also see it in being, instead of white, being complete black. And the only thing that would help show the face would be the highlights coming from the neon, like when the highlights hit the eyes, hit the upper lips and the nose and stuff like that.
Well, now you've given me a new idea. So mark that down, but that'll be I'll tell you what, though, you'd be a little surprised when you see what I end up doing, because there's stuff I can't talk about yet. And I'm chomping at the bit that I really want to talk about different new characters and stuff coming, and I can't.
I guess I'll do fan art of it then, because now I can't. Now that idea is in my head.
I know. Now that I'm thinking about that other character, I'm like, oh, that would be perfect, but I can't say anything. It's killing me.
It's very cool, and we're looking forward to
We can keep a secret.
As long as you guys promise not to tell anyone else.
Yeah, it'll have to be there'll be a non-disclosure agreement that we can sign for you. But I look at this too. A very popular artist that I really love that wasn't in comics that this reminds me of. I don't know if you are familiar with I think his name is Patrick Nagel or Nagel. I don't know if you're familiar with this particular artist. Look it up a little later on, but he does something very similar where he just does very flat, simple shapes, but it's iconic. I think if you looked up this particular artist, you would know exactly. You've seen his art before. Yeah. Very popular during the 80s. But this style lends itself to it as well. You should even consider, like, if you can't get a printer to do what you want, you should do like I think you have some blank covers here. You should like maybe illustrate it yourself and then buy like some neon paints and just do limited edition Jared one-offs that have you hand colored. I do have this is the kind of stuff I'm getting into is like later on, but like I've been doing vinyl work, and I actually cut out I took this cover, that other one, and I cut out a metallic title name and everything like that, and I like just build it for my own fun or whatever, like, and it was really great, but it's just a matter of where can you get it done, and it always factors into the price, and it's some stuff is like if you want metallic books, you're looking at like $10 plus for some places, and I can't. It's hard for me to look at it and be like, well, if you want this book, you got to pay me $15. It's like, man, $15 for a book is like, that's tough, and you don't want to make. Yeah, you want to keep it down for people so they can afford. Right. Yeah, and just do a super limited edition Jared Brown one-offs. That'd be really. I think people would probably bite, especially it's just so striking. I just really think it's awesome, and you should at least do a print. That way those of your fans that already have the book, they can buy at least the print, and maybe have it larger so they can have that. But the last cover that we have here.
Another Kyle.
This definitely has anime vibes to it. Do you want to talk a little bit about this, piece?
Yeah, this was another Kyle here, and he's in the midst of doing all of his other anime stuff, and he popped this gorgeous piece out, and he goes, "Do you care if I go a little more risky?" I'm like, "No, absolutely. Like, go ahead, man." I was like, "This is your style. You go right ahead. You do what you got to do here." And then like he sent me pencils, and I loved it, And it's like I know it's a little more, this is more the 90s feel. I mean, everything was that kind of, grabbing the attention of the young man walking past or young lady, whichever. But
Michael Turner would be proud.
Yes, he would. Yes, he would.
Yeah, brilliant. Just brilliant artwork. And then you were mentioning things about, Saeed said something here. Hard to find an artist that would be reasonable. At least I found one. Yeah, so we found one in Jared. Very reasonable.
Yep.
So here we go. You mentioned vinyl, and this is really cool that you're experimenting with different media. And aside from comics and doing the pinups and the prints, you are exploring vinyl, which is cool for like everything from stickers to those vinyl magnets that you can like put on cars or your refrigerator, things like that.
That's from Star Trek. That's from Star Trek, right?
I know he could. I knew he could not resist that.
Okay, I'm out. I'll see you later. No,
it's like,
nope. Dumbledore. That's Dumbledore's hat. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's like,
right.
This is the way. This is the way. Totally wrong. Totally wrong. But here we have the Mandalorian. This is the way. Iconic. I think that again, this is you breaking it down from a graphic design point of view. Putting these into simple geometric shapes, but it's very recognizable. It's something that everybody can kind of see. And who doesn't love the Mandalorian? And I think this is really neat what you're doing with this.
People like to have little things. They stick them in their, in the office or on a computer or whatever. They're little vinyls. Just peel them, stick them on, and it's just something fun to do. I mean, I want my own shirt. That's why I started doing this. I like shirts. I love custom shirts. I wanted to make my own, and then if other people want them, I start doing that. But it's just really fun to make stuff that people don't have. So
yeah, very, very cool. And building more into like the whole Star Wars fan that's in you, we have this piece. And I tell you, ever since I saw Ian McCade's like prototypes of the concept art for Darth Maul, it was the stuff of nightmares. I mean, and those facial tattoos, those horns, it just, that was arguably the best thing about the Phantom Menace. I think they
had to tone him down, if I recall. He was a little too scary. Like they said, he was essentially like the devil. Like they had to really him in a little bit.
But you broke it down again. Broke it down into its bare necessities, and and it's just as horrific. Those you didn't even have to go all full on Sith yellow and red eyes, with the little spikes and stuff like that. You just had little beady red eyes in that negative space of the black, and it's just this is stuff that when you close your eyes and you're trying to sleep, it's like
I love
still
it.
like in your head.
I want it as a pillow.
It's doable. I'll make you a little pillow. You can have that.
Yeah, very, very cool. And I think that you amped it up. I wasn't a big fan of Savage.
Oh, Allison is giving some Star Wars facts here. What became the Night Sisters was actually the first concept for Maul.
All right.
Allison knows what she's talking about when it comes to Star Wars.
Allison showing some deep level Star Wars nerd trivia there. I love it, Allison. Thank you.
I love it as well.
Well,
yeah. And I look at this one and Savage Press. I just thought they were just trying to hey, let's just do another like Darth Maul, and instead of red tattoos, we'll give him yellow. But what you did with him, I think it almost has like a simian. Like the other one had like a devil kind of look. This has like kind of like a demonic simian look to it.
His design had more of he has a wider head and everything too.
And he was brought bigger, and
he was actually smaller than Maul originally, and then the Night Sisters enhanced him, so then it made him all big and beefy.
He got roided out by the Night Sisters. And then, this is one thing that, following up on that whole Predator Wendy's thing, this made me chuckle and gasp in horror at the same time, because, it's
this one makes people uncomfortable. Yeah,
it does.
Yeah.
Because and he almost looks like he's smiling here, and it's the Colonel as the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I said I had the executive producer of the 2003 movie with Jessica Biel. He actually liked and commented on it. Even I was so happy that day because this thing just blew up, and I thought it was hilarious. Yeah, you did a great, just awesome mashup. I just thought that was
a lot of people. Yeah, they're like, I'm not eating there anymore. I don't want to go there.
I have to say I'm a big fan of KFC, but I will definitely I
actually have my KFC for the first time just a week ago.
The first time? Oh
yeah.
My god!
We only have 3 KFCs in Denmark.
Wow! So what do you think? What was your impression?
I absolutely love this. 100 times better than McDonald's.
Oh yeah. I still know I'm a Popeyes guy at the end of the day. I love Popeyes.
We don't have Popeyes.
Oh,
yeah.
Popeyes is amazing. Cajun gravy. Oh,
well, I would say
amazing.
like the hype behind that crazy. Was it 2 years ago? They had the hype about that Popeyes chicken sandwich where people were like lining up
Fighting.
like for fighting. I think there was one guy that got robbed. With his Popeye sandwich. It was crazy, but the hype is real.
Said,
it's a great sandwich.
I'm with you, Said. Now I'm hungry. And Molly is going to KFC.
Yeah.
But this one here, I go out walking around with the shirt on, and people are kind of like, you could just see them side eyeing it, like, what is going on? Like, why are you? What is that?
Yeah, I think
I love it.
Yeah. Makes people feel uncomfortable, but it's funny at the same time. I think it's great.
Well,
that being said, we have one more that we're going to show before we get into the live drawing. It's this piece, and I know we talked about this in the pre-show. To me, it reminded me at first of this really cool video game that was on all platforms called Limbo, and it's the Nightmare Before Christmas characters. But what Jared told me about, since they are vinyl stickers, and it made complete sense to me, like what he was going to do. They're very popular here in Northern Virginia. They always have the little family stickers that are on the back of cars and stuff like that, where like my family is better than your family, and I got X amount of kids and stuff like that. But I just thought that you played off on that whole thing, and did the Nightmare Before Christmas character. So
it was just something quick and fun. Yeah, it was just a real quick something that I made up. My brother's one coworker, she absolutely loves the Nightmare Before Christmas and wanted something, so I came up with that real fast for her. So yeah,
that's brilliant. I think that Jared's style, aside from like the whole vibrancy and the color theory and the graphic design elements, he also has a great sense of humor, and I think that we got to see some of that here with the Predator and the Wendy's and the KFC with the Chainsaw Massacre, and then these stickers. I think these are really, really cool. So that being said, let's move to the live drawing part of the show. We got through this pretty quick, pretty good. So our first live drawing is going to be Wyatt, and so I'm going to go back to this, and just to refresh everybody's memory, Wyatt is a Native American character who we're going to learn a little bit more. But from what I know, he's this Native American character who's been cursed with his ability to turn into a bear. And I think while we're live drawing, this will give Jared an opportunity to give more detail into who Wyatt is, what he's about, how he's dealing with this so-called supernatural affliction, and what he's going to do about it. If he can get out from under this curse, or if he's like the Hulk, if he can like maybe still be a bear and still be able to control like whatever violent tendencies he's have. I don't know. I think this will be a great opportunity for Jared to tell us a little bit more about it. But again, he is a bear character, and you can see here, and he has armor, and he does have a uniform here. But he also, I'll only go back to this cover if I can find it real quick. All right, here, this is a cover here of him in his human form as well as his bear form. So lots of things to be inspired by. So if you're going to draw along with us, which we really encourage, that's the good thing about these live drawings here on Let It Out, is not only are you going to get to see the magic happen with our guests in terms of them drawing their own art pieces, I'm going to be fan arting as well. And I would love for everybody in the audience who's also equally inspired by Jared's art to go ahead and draw along with us. It is going to be a time drawing, so don't worry about making it super polished. We want you to participate. And if you do, go into the comments field, let Rick know that you are drawing along with us, and later on post it to the art show, which is our sister page. And that way we can pull it up. We can get Jared to check it out, and we can all be fanboys together of Jared's artwork. So again, do a screen capture of this. This is Wyatt in both his human form and his bear form. And let's go back to this. This is an example of Wyatt as well. And here's another one of Wyatt as well. And so do some screen captures of this, do them as references, and let's go ahead and get our drawing cams ready to go. So Jared, if you want to add your, I think when you had to back out, your art cam kind of got, or your art app got dropped. So go ahead and add that back in.
Okay.
And Allison is in. So great. We got our first, we got somebody that's going to be doing it. All right, so
No. Go back. Marius didn't screen cap
Okay,
in time.
let me put it back. Hold on one moment.
I got you, Marius. Don't worry. I got you.
All right. Okay.
Last chance for screen grabbing, guys.
Let me.
Not. There's a lot of them on the Instagram and the Facebook and whatnot. You can go back.
Yeah. So you can definitely check out. Well, we don't want you to go too far. Make sure you open up another tab so you don't lose the stream that you're on here. But definitely check this out. And let me go back to, let's see, there's another piece in here. So here's a profile shot. You can see he has these metallic bear claws.
Nice hair. I haven't done anything with my hair. But thank
maybe
you.
he was talking about the nice bear hair.
Oh,
I don't know.
Maybe.
All right, and this is the one that was really striking to me. I love this thing here too. It's just really neat. Okay, so did everybody get their screen captures?
Well, they got the extra 10, so if they didn't, it's on them.
Okay, all right. So let me remove this. I'm going to add
Did you get your screen grab, Jared?
Yeah.
Oh, robot.
Okay, all right, good. We haven't started the challenge. Go ahead and get out and then get back in. Okay. All right. Okay, so it's a good thing we caught that before he started talking about Wyatt, because that would have been super inconvenient.
So, okay, so I guess should we put it up one extra time? Oh, he's already in here. He's so fast.
Yeah.
Don't tell people that.
Giggity.
All right, let's add your art app and let's get that on there.
Like I said, it's almost like the thing just sort of gets a little bit of a traffic jam with it, and then it comes back around.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So let's get into drawing Wyatt and
you
Rick.
got your art cam ready as well.
Yep. So let's get started here. So the clock will be ticking, and I will do less talking, and Rick will do more talking. So
yeah, hopefully less talking.
All right. Okay. So I'm gonna kick it off
now.
Okay.
15 minutes. Wyatt.
Right.
So Jared, Wyatt, what's his deal? Is it an alien curse? Is it a real curse? Is it just pretend?
No, it's in issue 2 here. You're introduced to two characters. One is she's like a bit of a witch / medicine man, and then there's this other guy with her. Like I said, I haven't expanded too much on them just yet, so because I like to keep a little bit of the mystique of the characters and where I'm going with the stories. But I can say that they are part of his tribe. They end up cursing him, and the curse ends up putting him in a spot where he ends up at his family's home and does the unspeakable act of killing them, which cements the beast bonding to him. And what ends up happening is Danny and her crew show up, and they want to recruit him. In exchange, they will help him find out where these two have gone. They've disappeared, so now they're looking for him.
Wait. So he does despicable things and murdering left and right, and the protagonist comes up and says, "Hey, let's recruit him. He sounds like a good guy."
Yeah, well, no, it's more along the lines of the pure strength and the savagery and some of the stuff they have to go up against. It's nice to have a big character for the team. Yeah. It was a couple iterations trying to figure out like where to put him in the story. It's like at one point I had the idea that they brainwash and lie to him instead. So they make him think that, he's always been part of the team, but then I'm like, that really doesn't build any kind of trust later. And I couldn't see Danny being the kind of character that would go along with that. So I had to come up with something that was a little more, I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine. And, maybe at the end of it all, he'll just leave the whole thing altogether and go on his merry way.
And stop killing his family.
Yeah, pretty much. But like I said, though, I've got a lot of twists and turns coming up that are going to add to these stories that I think a lot of people are going to enjoy. I like that whole, you're reading it, you think you've got a handle on how it's going, and then you're like, and like it came right around with a side shot on you. You had no idea it was coming.
Yeah, you're getting ready for a fight between a bear, a bear and a fish, and then kablam, llama out of nowhere.
Yeah, maybe somebody will be a llama. I don't know.
Now there has to be. So Marius asked a question earlier on that I wanted to save. He asked if all you do is digital from start to finish, your whole process is digital. Doing these.
Oh no! Well, sometimes I sit and I will sketch out panels of a page, because sometimes it's just, at the end of the day, I always say pen and paper or pencil, paper, whatever, always the best thing to sit down with, I think, and just draw out ideas and things like that. And I'll sketch something out, I scan it in, then I'll bring it into here, and I'll just work over top of the sketch and refine it, change it around. I mean, there have been pages that I have changed so many times with a new idea, or it's like, well, I'd rather it look like this, or, you know, that's a nice thing about the digital. I don't have to be married to a specific. I don't have to kill an entire page and start all over again because I didn't like a panel, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and I've gotten many years it took to. And I said I don't show people my process because you can see it's always super hideous when I'm first working on something, because I'm very loose with my sketching. So,
I mean, speaking of loose, I mean, we have one here that's also another one that's very loose. It's in Gerald, but it's the same like you, Jared. It ends up being good. It ends up, you can see what it is always from the start. And now, as I promised, Jared, I was going to mention this in live stream. What have you put on your pencil to make it look more fancy? That doesn't help.
Well, I think it's what Joe always gives me a hard time about. Like, get a new pencil, and I do have a new pencil, but I just can't let this pencil go to waste. So
no, it's a waste. It's a waste of wood.
That's so funny.
All right, I want to get the most out of my tools that I have here.
I just thought you wanted to be more sophisticated. That's why you got it.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh, yeah.
I don't know why. No, it just looked like a thing like which in the old days with cigarettes.
Check that out. It's a gadget. You can actually sharpen your pencil here too. Oh. And if you want to travel with it, you can go like this, and so it won't get the pencil won't get broken. So it's just it's super high tech. Very, very cool. So
that's funny.
You know, whoever I don't even know who makes this. I'm plugging it, so maybe I'll get some sort of endorsement. So check out how you can make your pencils last longer. Buy one of these things.
That's funny. I see. This is one of these brushes right here I use sometimes. It's like a paintbrush I found on one of somebody's collection of stuff, and it has such a neat. You know, the harder you press, the more you get out of it and stuff like that. But it's such a neat way that it's designed that it's so soft you can just go through.
Yeah. I love that kind of. I love that kind of brushes myself.
Yeah.
Really good, and it can also work if you go completely down brush size. Also, could work perfectly fine as the sketching.
Oh yeah, yep, absolutely. I use it a lot for like soft blending and things like that. It's almost like a number 2 there. It's very soft when it's doing its thing here.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna send you a brush. I think you're gonna like. It's pretty much all digital painters use it these days.
I'll tell you what is neat. I use what's the other one here? I've got it's I can't remember it there. Clip Studio Paint.
Oh yes, I love. I started using it because I've started working on my line art.
Well, you know what the best part is? You can take Photoshop brushes and load them into Clip Studio, and they work. Yeah, I found that the one day, and I was like just ecstatic because that thing's got so many cool.
They started doing that only like recently, like the recent update.
Yep.
But many people were happy.
Yeah, it's a $50 program, or $25 when it's on sale. $25, and it has everything that Photoshop has. You don't need a subscription. And I mean, I love Photoshop, but
it has everything an artist needs from Photoshop, and nothing from the photo editing.
Yep.
Per se.
Yeah, it's more for if you're gonna be sitting here painting, drawing, and stuff like. Photoshop's more versatile for everything, so that's why it's so much better. And I feel like he's doing such a better job than I am right now. But like I said, my process is just hideous.
I mean, Gerald have done this for almost 2 years now.
Yeah.
more.
Yeah, but you know what? It's not about. It's. I think what we want people to really see is just your process. We don't need to see all the soup. We want. Like I said, when I say it's the magic, I want to see the magic happening and your whole process. So it's not about getting that super uber finished piece. I think that it's one of those things that we all get have our own way of doing it, and I really would just like to hear a little bit more because. When we talked about it during the pre-show, and you mentioned your sensitivity to the story of, skinwalkers and Native Americans. And, I'm a big fan. I'm a total nerd when it comes to the History Channel and, like, the Science Channel, not the Sci-Fi Channel, the Science Channel. And I'll have, like, documentaries playing in the background while I'm, like, working. And one of the things that I love, one of my favorite shows is Ancient Aliens.
Oh, that's the one I watched too. I love it.
And they had a special about skinwalkers, and I thought that was really, really neat. So you're a fan of it too? When you researched it, were those specials out, or did you kind of like do your own research and decide, what I'm going to do a character centered around the whole skinwalker mythology, or was it just
I wanted, I guess you could say I wanted that whole werewolf. I love the whole transformation of a character and stuff. I love werewolves, but I'm like, I felt the werewolf was a bit of a cliche. It's been overused, or, I was like, oh, another werewolf. It's like, I need something that's a little more unique, I guess. I don't see it as often used or whatnot. And if they do use the whole person turning into an animal, it's usually that whole werewolf infection thing. This is all spiritual. There's no... Like I said, he's not going to bite you and turn you into a werebear. Like that's not how the whole thing, works with that. But I do feel that it is as I tried to think, what could I give this guy that would make him interesting, that would make him sympathetic? People could relate, and here it is, a good man struggling with a bad situation and trying to be better and trying to get out of it and dealing with the fact. I mean, he knows what he did. And that's the whole, he has to deal with the consequences of what he did. And the only thing he can think of right now is revenge on them for making him do this or pushing him to this point where it ends up happening. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I totally dig it because, we're talking about image comics and how that's a big influence on us. And I see, it's like you took, I was a big fan. We were talking about Silvestri, and remember Silvestri and Cyberforce, and we had that character Ripclaw. I would love to see a Wyatt versus Ripclaw, and that would just be a
fun,
classic, matchup. Yeah, this character just looks really, really cool. I'm hoping that there's going to be a lot of people that are fan arting with us, and we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, I really like. I'm a sucker for anything were. I recently saw a painting of a were dolphin. That's the weirdest were animal I've seen so far. But there's this painting on YouTube that instead of Inktober has done Weretober. So
that's pretty neat.
That is a great idea.
He randomizes on Google an animal every day, and then he makes it into an animal, and it was dolphin. And I was like, that can't be done, and it can, and it looks as weird as you think.
That is absolutely fantastic, though. It really is.
But Rick, was it weirder than a Green Lantern dolphin? Remember that one?
Oh yeah, your Green Lantern dolphin. No, that was too good.
I tell you, what is it?
I think Jared, that's one of your best.
You're gonna have to look forward to that. We're gonna have to do when we do Rick's challenge. We may get something just as weird as a dolphin Green Lantern. That's.
Yeah, I'll be down for that.
Well, see, now I need to redo my challenge. I already had the challenge set up and everything, but now you're just giving ideas.
That's hilarious.
So speaking of that, how much time do we have there, Rick?
You got 4 more minutes.
4 more minutes.
So there's plenty of time.
I did one of these in Saratoga, or no, it was Vermont. We were doing a Burlington show, and my writer is actually he created the first sketch-offs they were doing, and it was the crowd picks a couple different subjects, what do you want to mix? And mine, I ended up winning. Actually, beat Dan Parent, who does the Archie comics. I was like beside myself because I beat Dan Parent. But yeah, I totally beat Dan Parent. And it was a picture of Kim Kardashian with a backup lights on her butt. Like I drew a giant butt.
Ooh.
And she was backing up, and I had the lights going and everything, and people just lost it. And like that's how I won. Not not because you were better, but just because it was funnier.
That just goes to show that it's also about concept. Maybe coming up with a really cool concept.
Yep. Yeah, there's lots of fun stuff you can do with those things that and everybody enjoys it. I like the mashups a lot. I think they're a lot of fun. And
then you're in for a treat because Rick is famous for his matchups, his mashups.
Well, that was one of the things that got me going on this too. I kept that Batman Mandalorian that I did. I kept having people walk up to me, especially at Baltimore, and they kept saying, like, what book are you working on? And I said, well, I'm not working on a book. And they're like, oh. It's like, you should be working on a book because I'd totally buy it. And I'm like, oh. I was like, okay, I guess I'm working on a book. So then I started getting more serious with Advent Dark, and that's where the whole thing came from, is people giving me a hard time in Baltimore. Yeah, they were like, because they saw the first version I did of that, and they were like, what book is this? I want it. I'm like, it's not a book. It's just me drawing it. I'm like, oh. And they laughed. Like, they wanted a Batman Mandalorian, like, Sith. And I had multiple people. I've sold out of that thing I don't know how many times. Like, so many people kept coming back for it. And, it was a fun design.
Nothing like fans at the con driving you, inspiring you to actually produce something really, really neat. I mean, that just goes to show that people saw it. They loved what they saw, and they said, and it said, Jared, you can do it. You can create that book that everybody wants to get.
Well, more people that want to buy it. I'm just like, I'm happy people buy the book. I want people to read it and be like, yo, I've really enjoyed reading this book. And I've had lots of people come back and they're like, when's the next one? Like, I want to read it now. And I'm like, well, it's not done. It's like, well, get going because I want to read it. I'm like, all right, that's great. Yeah. And I'm like, great. Did
you have your George R.R. Martin moment where people were like, come on, man?
No, I'm not that big enough, and I'm not that far along. It's when everybody's like been waiting for how many years for something, and it's like, no, they're not gonna.
Yeah, I'm hoping that George R.R. Martin will stay alive long enough to finish.
Gerald, quick question: What is your most disliked animal in the world? Which animal in the world do you dislike the most?
You think I'm going to give you the answer? I know where you're going with this.
You have to.
I have to.
You have to obey to it. I don't know why, but you have to.
Okay. My most disliked animal, because I like all animals. I think animals are. I'm gonna be the politician. That way I can get out of this one and not give you that answer. All right. Okay. Yeah. Here, I'll give you a fun one, and because I'm gonna leave it up to chance, and assuming that you can't rig the wheel of Gerald's misfortune, I've
done it so far.
You've done it so far. Okay. All right. Put a platypus on there. I think.
I already put a platypus.
Oh, you did?
Platypuses, yeah.
Okay.
Of course I did.
Okay. Let me think.
Garrett, what about you? What is your favorite animal? Because you're the guest, so I'm being kind to you.
Oh, my favorite animal? I don't know. I don't really know if I have a favorite animal. Like, I love dogs. I mean, obviously dogs, wolves. But I mean, I'm more of like the insect. I think insects are more crazy, more interesting, and stuff like that.
Go for an insect. I think
like the certain praying mantises are absolutely insane with how they look.
Funnily enough, just writing that down as you said it.
Yeah.
Praying mantis.
Oh yeah, they're great. Yeah.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, I just saw one the other day. It basically looks like dried leaves. Like its design is dried leaves, and that to me is just absolutely. I even show a little bit here as I'm drawing. This is what I end up doing. So I do that horrible sketch, and then I take a whole nother layer.
Well, don't get too started.
No.
Because pencils down. Time is up.
Oh, that's
what?
So fun.
Yeah.
Okay. My pencil's down. What are you talking about?
Don't lie. We are highlighting you right now.
Look at that. Look at
just because I know you'll be cheating. Just because I know you'll be cheating. So let's look at Remember,
Oh my
guys,
God.
write in the comments if you've drawn along, and if you haven't, shame on you. Now,
Jeez,
we
Jared.
hope.
Oh,
Yeah, this is good, Jared.
Oh, I hate it.
Well, okay, this is what I'm going to say. In the same amount of time where I just did this messy pencil sketch, Jared not only did pencils, he did inks, and he did colors.
Completely fine, Allison.
Yep. No, I cheated. I had digital, so I mean, I would have just done pencil as well. But
no, that's not cheating. That's the nature of the medium. You can speed up your process much faster with doing digital.
I like what you did here, Jared. I mean, you're showing good knowledge, even though yeah, it was only 15 minutes, but your process shows that you know what you're doing, and that's what we want to see. We want to see the process of the artist, because we've seen your finished work after all when we are promoting your art. So we want this is one of the reasons why we also do these, is because we want to see the process.
Yeah,
and also have the people draw along with us.
Mm-hmm. And I just what Rick said. I always want to like say whatever Rick said. I totally agree with it. It's like we want to give people.
Of course you do.
Here it is. I'm trying to give Rick some praise here, and he just totally like soaks it all up. He totally soaks it up. But this is what I want to say, Jared. It's just awesome to see. I have to do this with all of our guests. Is that obviously I'm drawing, so I can't see the process. I only see the finished product. So I go back and I watch the video later on, so I can see the magic happen. So you're being way too hard on yourself. I love it. I think it's really cool, and it'd be great to see this come to life when I do watch it later on. Oh, I guess it's my turn.
Look how much more action's going on here. You got a whole lot more. Like, it's just a lot of motion, a lot of anger, a lot of everything going on there.
Oh, hey, Sarah.
Oh, Sarah. Welcome, Sarah. And
hello.
You know what? I tell you, Jared, it's a cheat. I decide to like fill up the space and zoom in a lot, so that way I can kind of. So it's not really I just fill up the page, so it's misleading in terms of the drawing here. But this goes to show is that I love Wyatt. I think he's a really great character, and I wanted to capture that ferocity that you talked about, and it's also the tragic nature of his character. It's like, I don't know if he's in control when he becomes this brute.
He kind of goes more Hulk than I had it built into the thing there. In the first issue you read, they have a little thing on him that will actually inject him. It kind of brings him back down out of the rage, because he can kind of go to a point where he'll just start tearing through everybody because the bear gets the best of him. So they kind of sedate him a bit to bring him back. Yeah. But the weapons, like his claws, everything, that whole suit actually grows with him. So when he shrinks back down, everything moves with him. And then when he gets,
it's not a Hulk issue for him. That's lucky.
Yeah, he has his clothing, everything moves with him. So
he doesn't have to worry about getting a new wardrobe every time he transfers.
No, I'm not gonna do the big purple pants here. No.
Yeah. All right, so we at least have one.
Yeah, I think Allison said that she drew along.
Yeah, right here, Allison McClone.
Oh, look at that! Nice.
With a severed head and everything.
We have a head.
A severed head? Oh shoot! Yeah. Can you zoom in? Let's zoom in a little bit. Let's see this. Or we can't. There we go. Wow, great quick work.
Yeah, very fun.
Yeah, she gave Wyatt some really like Lady Deathstrike type claws where they kind of extend out even further. So she made him even more deadly. And of course, that poor soul who's now detached from his body, just.
Do you know what the part that's really pulling me though? Believe it or not, the legs.
Yeah.
The position, the walking, it looks natural enough. That's part of what's really pulling me in, is how the posture.
Yeah, I like the overall posture and how quickly she landed it to look as awesome as she did. Which
that's not easy.
No.
Yeah,
I'm impressed.
Yeah, I think Allison, when she did that, it's like Wyatt has come down off his berserker rage, and kind of like he's already like decapitated his victim, and he's like, all right, I'm done, and I'm kind of a little semi-calm. So that was fun. I really had a good time.
We have
we get
one
another
more.
person.
We got one more.
What else we got there?
Let's see.
One more. Let me share.
Hoping Marius would join us. And maybe
there's let's see here if I'm sharing the right one.
He said he's posting.
Yeah, hang on. I'm just making sure. Okay, and this is from one Joe Tolliver.
Nice, very nice.
Killer.
You can see his eyes in the background there, peeking. So you know it's him. You know it's him.
That's really awesome. That's great.
That's really fast as well.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, look at
that's
that.
really good.
You guys are killing me here. You're killing me here.
No, it's not about, Jared, I want you to know that it's not these challenges are not like designed to be this or that. It's more about just, if anything, you've inspired us to like do this. So just like those guest artists that did some of your covers, your characters are motivating us to do this.
Oh,
we get another person?
Oh, we like more.
Yeah. We got last but not least.
I did find out with this character, I really don't like drawing bears. And of course, I picked a bear and then I started drawing him and I was like, oh.
It's not too late to change.
No, he's a bear. He's a grizzly.
This is from Marius.
Get out of here.
Oh my gosh.
Get out of here.
Yeah, this is just.
Oh
this,
my God.
This
Look
is
at that.
just. You know what? Usually when I see stuff like this, I usually call it a certain thing, and Gerald doesn't like when I do it, but this is just stupid. Stupid.
That is absolutely insane.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, stupid in the absolutely insane, amazing way. Like,
I'm even getting a screenshot of that because I want one for myself. Because that's just that's amazing.
Hey, Marius, when we're done here, I'll make sure that you can send it to him.
Oh well, it's in the art show, so just join the art show.
Oh yeah,
and you can see it there. But Marius, awesome like fan art here.
Dude, that's
this is really cool. But anyway, this is so cool.
It's like now I want to walk up and look what other people did to my stuff. Look.
Jared, you this is what you do. You inspire other artists to do.
That had like a horror. That was like a horror comic.
He also made a process video of it.
Oh, okay. So it has that. What is it? I know I didn't watch it yet, but remember, I think there was a New Mutants movie that came out, and the main antagonist was the Demon Bear.
Yeah, he's been part of that for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. So very, very neat. Even though Wyatt is not the Demon Bear, I think it's really cool that it's just kind of neat. I love the whole Hulk kind of angle. I love the whole Native American Skinwalker tie-in. I think that's really neat. But yeah, I just want to let everybody in the audience know.
Guys. Great first.
Thank you very much. That was very cool. Round. Yep.
Yeah. So if you are still working on it, I know if Sarah, if you're still working on maybe doing.
Sarah just returned. She started having classes late, so she comes around my challenge. She comes.
Right. So anybody who wants to do Wyatt, they can still do it. Just let us know.
Yeah, please.
Definitely do that. All right. So let's. Yes, Allison, I agree. That storyline with the Demon Bear is really, really cool. But yeah, let's go to the second challenge, which is Rick's favorite challenge because it's the co-host Rick challenge. He basically gets to dictate the rules and does his best to stump me at least. And I tell him always to be very very nice to our guests. so Rick, tell us what the Rick challenge is for today.
Well, now I got two to choose from because we started talking about the wear thing. So I do have the wear challenge with. I added some animals. I'm not going to share them and show you right now. But I also have a sci-fi/horror challenge. And Jared, you get to choose which one would you want to do.
I kind of want to do that wear one because I just think that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I like wear stuff. And if you're getting silly with
it. So spoiler for the other one was I made a list of horror names like Michael Myers, Chucky, and Jason, and yada, yada, yada. And I wanted you to draw Star Wars versions of them.
Oh, wow. That would have been kind of neat.
Yeah.
But you know what? We're going to do the wear challenge. So let's
you lost that one, guys. Too bad. But
that's funny.
You did this to yourself. So let's see here. And let me just share it. There we go. You see all the names, right? There's lion, there's narwhal, there's elk, goat, sheep, moth, ostrich, dolphin, toad, praying mantis, wombat, platypus, octopus, penguin, and koala. Do you any animals in the comments and YouTube that you'd like added?
Check out that narwhal. Narwhal is just crazy.
Yeah. Anything else you just think of right now on top of your head?
I think they're.
Isn't there a thing called a quokka, which is like this really big?
But I'd say it reminds me. It's so close to a wombat.
Okay, we'll leave it that.
Yeah, we'll leave it so that would be a hawk. Yeah, good call. I'll add
We're gonna put some birds. Put some birds in there. All right,
wombats are awesome. You're right. So let's get this rolling. Jared, do you want to go first, or should I allow Jared to go first?
You go ahead, because I'm not really sure what you're doing. Like, I get what you're doing, but I'd rather see the process here. So go ahead.
Jared goes first. Okay, Jared, as always, which one would you least want?
I don't want to do a narwhal.
Okay.
No narwhal. No narwhal. No narwhal.
Oh, please, yeah. No.
Oh, you have this totally rigged.
Oh, no.
That's great.
I don't know.
It didn't count, Gerald. Sorry.
What?
Oh, yes.
Oh, come on. I already did a dolphin.
Okay. Oh, we did. Yeah, you're right. Let's do it again. Then.
Oh, come on. Here No.
Oh, that would have been funny.
Yeah. Okay. But the funny part, Jared, the last 3 times I've done this and asked him what the least he wanted, it has landed on what he's mentioned.
That's so funny. That's great.
Yeah. Okay, so let's remove the elk here, so you don't get it, Jared.
Okay.
And are you ready?
So I'm picking the least I want.
I just want Gerald to pick.
Okay, gotcha.
Because that's funny when it lands on that.
Because he has it rigged.
No, I can't rig it.
A sheep.
Oh, a sheep.
Nah.
I think that'd be fun. Oh, listen to Rick.
No. I'm rolling again, and then I give him options. Koala or sheep?
Yeah, go koala. They're a little more interesting.
Okay. Okay, guys, you know the list that watching along, and it's where versions of them. That is, so it's not just a koala. It's a humanoid koala, or humanoid penguin, if that's what you want. Oh, do you want me? Okay, I'll roll for the audience then. They ask for it, so let's see what the audience get. They get the no. The platypus.
That should be fun.
Okay, audience, you can thank Marius for this one. I was just gonna make you pick yourself, but Marius wanted it to run the wheel, so now it's gonna be a were platypus for you guys.
Okay. So I'm doing who's doing the were platypus? The audience. Okay, gotcha.
You're doing the koala, and
yep.
Jerry is doing the elk.
Okay. All right. So clock
20 minutes.
Okay. So clock starts now?
Clock starts now, yeah.
All right. Here we go.
And we are off. So, I didn't even know you. So quokkas is actually my favorite animal.
And that's the favorite. That's the favorite animal of my niece. So you have something in common with my 12-year-old niece.
Well, have you told? Do you know the reason why it's my favorite animal is because if it feels threatened by a predator, it'll toss its kids at it and run away.
Yep.
That's why I like it. Is that why your niece like it?
I haven't heard that one, but I'll have to ask her about that. But I think that's so. It's kind of like that saying. It's like, I don't need, if we're in a zombie apocalypse and we're all being chased by zombies, I don't need to be fast. I just need to be faster than Rick. Yep. so I can toss Rick at the zombies.
Exactly. Well, don't say that,
serious?
Gerald, because I know how to trip people.
Oh, you did.
That's hilarious.
Are you serious? The quokka will do that? It'll throw
Yeah.
its. Oh my
Yep.
god, that's just vicious. That's just mean.
I was
they're
almost
They're mean little fellas.
still debating whether I should make this female for Allison because she loves the boobs. So.
Yeah, Allison was the only one that likes the boobs.
Oh, when I got to go back through and start. Hold on, we're gonna do this a little different.
So your favorite was animal is the praying mantis. Is that the one that looks like a leaf?
Yeah, something. Yeah, there's some that are. They definitely are.
I'll have to with the insects have to disagree a little bit because I don't like animals that end sexual affairs with eating the male. I'm not a fan of those kind of animals.
Well, what about the bumble?
So
Is it which bee is it that when they mate, the male explodes and dies?
What?
Yeah,
I haven't heard of that one either.
There was one of those.
I think it's some sort of bee at least.
I know the black widow will do the same thing as the praying mantis.
Yeah, most spiders and insects will do that. So I'm not a fan of those. I'm just glad it's not a thing here as humans.
That's funny.
I was
it's
just
like if
looking over on the art station on the art show for a second. People keep the video is up now for people that want to look after the show from Marius, his process. So is this the first time, Jared, that you are talking and drawing at the same time in this kind of way?
To a degree, yeah. Like I haven't. I don't usually sit and or somebody's here or something. I sit and talk to them or something. But it's like, I've done sketch offs and stuff like that where you're in a giant auditorium full of people.
Whoa!
And
this is nothing compared to that. That would be very stressful for me.
Oh, it is. It's very stressful because you're trying to do really well, and then you're like I said, my process is fast. It's very ugly, and then I come back through and I really tighten everything up. So that's tough for me to sit here, and that's the challenge for me.
Sarah's favorite animals are birds because they're modern day dinosaurs. Every time I read that, I always just imagine like a T-Rex sized chicken.
A T-Rex sized chicken.
Yeah.
KFC style, right? KFC style.
There's KFC for everybody for a week.
Yes, exactly.
Well, they had that one video that was a cat in a yard, and it was after this mouse, and there was this rooster standing there, and the rooster's kind of watching the cat, watching the mouse, and just as the cat's getting ready to jump the mouse, the rooster runs over, grabs the mouse, beats it to death, and then runs off and eats it. And someone's like, "You seem to forget they were dinosaurs at one point," and that is how they would handle business.
I just like that it was just waiting for the cat, knowing that the cat was going to do it, and just went yoink.
Yep, that was the whole.
Just goes to the cat and looks it in the eyes like, what?
It's like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, you expect me to ignore years of evolution?
It's like, what do you got for me? Nothing.
I mean, that is a pretty crappy deal the dinosaurs have been given, though.
Well, they adapted. They survived by getting smaller. I mean, when you're that big, you got to eat.
Yeah.
Everything's harder on your body. So when you scale down, they did that. I mean, if you really look at the Transformers, they did that. The Beast Wars, all that, those were all very mini versions of original Transformers because they had said in the show, they go, we can't keep up with the power. We're constantly looking for new stuff, and smaller work better for them.
I mean, it's the same works for our day crocodiles and alligators. They were bigger back then as well.
Yep. That was oxygen too. With the heavy oxygen content in the atmosphere, you'll get bugs the size of Volkswagens.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Did Did you ever watch that Peter Jackson remake of King Kong?
Yeah.
That whole bug sequence. I mean, I was just, my skin was crawling. I was like, I had to like look away. Those giant centipedes and praying mantis looking things, they just total stuff of nightmares. That really made me
imagine going into the forest and enjoy it, and you just see some leaf, like big leaves on the ground, and you go, oh, that's a curiously big leaf, and then yoink.
That's like Kong Skull Island when he's talking. He goes, "You hear that right there?" He goes, "It sounds like a bird." He goes, "No." He goes, "That's an ant." He goes, "They're huge." He goes, "Don't go near them."
That was another difficult movie to watch too.
Yeah.
Remember they were in that, looked like it was a bamboo forest, and the next thing you know, you see the guy get impaled by a piece of bamboo, and it's like the legs of like this giant spider creature that's like skyscraper sized.
Yep.
Yeah, very, very disturbing.
You're so used to being the top of the food chain.
Oh, I'm chuckling here because as soon as we started talking about that gory, scary scene, our loyal friend that also does a lot of gory art himself, Maverick, comes in. Love that scene.
It's like everything that we're kind of scared and appalled by. Maverick, he loves it. He eats that stuff up.
Oh, that's the good. That's definitely the good stuff.
I guess I had to chuckle because it was so perfect. We all agreed that was a scary and brutal scene, and he goes, "Oh, I love that scene." I actually haven't seen Skull Island, so thanks for the spoiler, Gerald.
There was no spoiler. I just told you
it's
about
only 5 years. It's only 5 years old.
Yeah, if I was talking about Kong versus Godzilla, that would be another thing altogether.
Yeah. Those were fun movies, though. And some people are like, "Oh, I don't like them," or "They don't have this or that." It's like they're giant monsters beating each other up. What do you want? What are you looking for? What Academy Award performance are you really looking for here? It's like I came to see. Yeah, I want to see Godzilla breathe fire.
It's a CGI gorilla. What do you want? Do you want him to do Hamlet?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, especially because it also had the great actress Brie Larson in it too. You know?
Excuse you.
Let's take it easy there, shall we?
And also, it also had Tom Hiddleston. You know, everybody loves Tom Hiddleston. So.
I was excited because it had John Goodman.
Oh yeah, it did have John Goodman in it too.
I like John Goodman being in there. He was good.
I loved John Goodman. Now we're talking, Jared. Jared's out here, and so speaking of actors and actresses that is famous now and really on top of the food chains and all popular, and we here just liking John Goodman.
Yeah, he's tasty.
So, are you a fan of the kaiju movies, Jared? Do you like?
Pacific Rim is still like one of my. I don't care if people didn't like it. Pacific Rim is an awesome movie.
I'm with you. I'm totally with you.
Second movie was It
was
they pointed out, watch the first one, watch the movements of the machines, then watch them in the second one. In the first movie, they move like they are very heavy, like they are legitimately they look like they've just got that look about them that they look like they're very heavy. They're hard walking through the city. Whereas you get the second one, they're like doing flips and flying through the air, and it's like gravity just did not
exist.
Well, one could debate the same with the Transformers movies. How not to the same degree as a Pacific Rim at all, but it did become a little bit. It became lighter and lighter over the movies.
Yeah, there was definitely some stuff there that.
Well, at least with Transformers, you could say it was alien technology.
Good point.
This is, with the. I have to agree with what Jared said. It's like they didn't quite feel like they had the same mass. Like you would expect with something that not that we have like giant skyscraper-sized mechs that are around that we can gauge things against. But it's just
That's what they say. The bigger you get, the more gravity pulls down on you anyway. So, like, if something were that big on Earth's gravity, it would essentially tear their cells apart and they would just die.
Right.
And I thought that was always pretty interesting, the science side of it. They said as cool as it looks, it wouldn't really work at that size with this gravity. But
hey,
I mean,
it's a movie.
It's a movie, exactly. It's big dumb fun. You're just supposed to enjoy it. Don't get too wrapped up in it.
I completely agree. So, speaking of movies and speaking of things that's in right now, have you seen the Squid Game, Jared?
I have not yet. I'm
no
hearing
spoilers.
good things. Yeah, no spoilers.
Yeah, I absolutely loved it. I loved it. And that's the only spoiler I'll give you, is that I loved it.
That's what I'm hearing, all good things. I'm starting to see cosplays popping up now. Like, they've got the cosplays like almost right away. Because everybody's got to cash in on it, so they go running.
Well, that's how you do it. You have to.
Oh,
now the cons just recently opened up. It's the perfect time.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't want to give my koala. They don't. Well, I guess they have a little bit of a. There they go. They have a little bit of an eyebrow going on.
Oh yes. Please give her lipstick as well.
I thought about giving her like the big full lips, but.
Oh man, I'm so curious. I'm so curious to see what you're doing.
Koalas have such a weird nose and face, and
yeah,
they like
kind of like Gerald. Weird nose and face.
I won't argue with that. I definitely have a weird nose.
That is funny.
But this one is you seem a little bit more sure on yourself here, dear. For some reason, Jared. Maybe the first one was because it was your first attempt.
Yeah.
You seem a little bit more focused in your process here.
Yeah, I didn't care as much about this one, I think, and that's what the whole defeating. It was a self-defeating thing with it. Yeah.
No, you're supposed to have fun with it when you're with us, not.
So I'm thinking about that last one, that bear one that came up. That thing is just totally still messing with my head because that was like just awesome. I'm like, man.
Yeah, Marius is, and even you should also check out his brother.
Yeah, I definitely will.
Speaking of great art,
that stuff is just crazy. Like, I love that style of it. It's got like a heavy metal look to it, is what it reminded me of. Or
are you a fan of heavy metal as well?
I like some. Yeah, actually, it's kind of funny. I mentioned that the third issue, one of my homage covers is going to be a heavy metal. I like it's same with the Evil Dead. I had to design the Advent Dark logo to look like the heavy metal, and I had to do it with the Evil Dead. And that was tough, trying to get everything to match up. But I was able to nail it where Advent Dark looks like the heavy metal logo right now. So that's pretty cool.
Oh, I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, that's one that I'll be. I got to get that done here.
I'm a huge fan of heavy metal. We didn't get a lot of comics here in Denmark, so we had to take what I could get. And my uncle had a lot of heavy metal, so I started reading heavy metal when I was around 8.
Yeah.
Wow, it's a little young because.
So now you know why I'm so fancy. Why I'm so into boobs.
Well, I'll tell you a messed up story. My brother was born in 1983, and I was born 79, and my mom's, she's out of labor and everything. She calls my dad, he's like, hey, how you doing? How's everything? And she said, where's Jared? And he goes, oh, he's in the living room watching The Thing. And get him out of there. She's yelling at him. And people are like, that's real nice. I was like, I'll tell you what, I didn't grow up damaged from it. I was fine. But I mean, like, my dad let me watch a thing at like 3.5 years old, 4 years old. It was a little rough, but we grew up in that time. It was different for us. We didn't, it didn't affect us.
Yeah.
It didn't affect us. I have coulrophobia thanks to it, the original.
Yep.
The phobia of clowns. So it does affect us. It does affect us sometimes.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, so many people hated clowns after that. Yeah.
Poltergeist too.
Yeah, Poltergeist. Freddy Krueger, all those things. We grew up on all those things. We grew up with Schwarzenegger, Stallone, all those different.
Dolph Lundgren,
true action, the true action heroes.
Yeah.
Right, Joe? So yeah.
Yep, those were right there.
How much time do we got there, Rick?
Oh,
yeah, where are we?
2 minutes.
Okay, I got enough time.
2 minutes. Okay.
Do my nifty little thing here.
And now Marek is evil again and says, makes me want to draw clowns just for Jared and Rick. Well, Marek, if you want to stay on my good side, you shouldn't. Because I really don't. It's an actual phobia. It's not even something I say for fun. I will leave. It took me a lot of tries to watch the Joker in cinemas.
Do you know what did it for me? Believe it or not,
What
The Dentist, the movie The Dentist with Corbin Burnson. If you know that one, you know horror. That movie.
Oh, no.
If you have anything with teeth, like teeth freak me out. I don't like teeth. I don't like seeing pictures of people's teeth. And
no.
That one there. Oh man, did that put me through the ringer on that one?
Mm-hmm.
That
I could imagine.
Oh.
I was asked once to see it. I was well, it says The Dentist, and
don't do that.
Just there, I was like, nope. I don't like dentists already. I don't need a reason to dislike them even more.
Oh man, it's torture for me to go to the dentist. Like honest torture. I'd rather be unconscious for the entire thing, even if it's just a cleaning. I want to be unconscious. Like I just don't like. I don't
just
like
hit me with everything you got, Doc.
Yep. Because I'm a big guy too. I'm like 6'6". I'm 290 some pounds. Or whatever. It takes them. I don't know how. I had 7 shots of Novocaine the one day. Because they couldn't get my body to absorb it. Like they started drilling. I'm like, yeah, I still feel it. They're like, how do you still? They pulled out a Novocaine gun. If you've ever seen one of those, it's absolutely terrifying.
This kills rhinos. How can you still feel?
Yeah. Yep.
Pencils down.
Oh, hold on. I'm coming.
Pencils down.
Okay. One more minute.
One more minute.
I just wanted to color that in, but then
okay, pencils down now.
He said
that was a minute.
No,
that was a minute. There you go. Now I'm done. All right, now I'm done. Go ahead.
No, Jared is done. So pencils down.
All right, my pencil's down. Oh, look at that! Oh my gosh,
so good. So
it is
sexy as well.
I think Rick is turned on.
Yeah. Something's happening down under.
Oh my god.
I mean Australia.
Oh yes, you mean Australia?
Man, I might have to make something Rick nice later, and I'll send it to him as a thank you.
Very cool work. I love it, and it's neat that you made her female too.
Well, I did that for Allison actually.
Yeah, well, Allison
is
that.
uploading now, so
all right.
I'm looking forward
Very
to
cool.
it. Let's jump to Jowls.
What do you got? Oh, look at that thing. That's cool.
Yeah, so I never thought of doing a were elk, but
that's awesome.
I kind of wanted to make it look like he still would, even though he's kind of humanized, he still goes around on all fours. Walks around. But yeah, I think I need like an extra page up here just to make his antlers even bigger. But I had to deal with the space that I have here. But very, very neat challenge. Much better than doing a were dolphin. I have no idea how that would have looked. I guess it would have looked like what is it? The Shark King or something like that.
Yeah.
I really wanted you to get the narwhal, Gerald.
that would have been crazy too. So did anybody draw along with us? Hopefully.
Yeah, Allison did. I'm sharing it now.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, that's cool.
Is it It's the wombat. Is that what?
Yeah. She wanted to do the wombat.
That's cool.
Look at that.
Boobs as well. And you see, and again, Jared, like the last time, legs and the position.
Yep, real nice movement. Yeah, it's got a lot of action, a lot of movement to it. It's very fluid.
Yeah, the double slash, like she just slashed you with one hand and coming in for the second death blow there with her second hand. Very nice. I love the action, Allison. Thank you for drawing along with us. So did we get anybody else?
Yeah. They're loading up now.
Okay.
God damn it.
I know what he do. I was like, I'm already waiting for it.
You already know when.
Yeah, I already know. I got
What did
smacked
you do?
here.
Okay, let's find it.
Anticipation's killing me.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's terrifying.
That's
Is this
That's
Marius?
so
yeah, this Marius. Yeah.
Oh my
that's so
God.
terrifying.
It's like weirdly cute at the same time too.
But
Yeah,
I feel like
until you remember that they are
poisonous.
poisonous or venomous.
They're nasty and they're poisonous. Yeah, and I wouldn't want to fall asleep in the same room with that thing.
Platypuses are poisonous? I didn't know that.
Yes. Yep.
Oh. Wow. Learned something new. Marius, killer work. I can't believe you did that in 20 minutes. That's just crazy.
I like the really heavy detailed nipple.
Oh,
Oh my god.
I was going to say something about the beak, but if you want to talk about the nipple, that's all you.
I'll tell you what, the hands, the arms and hands are doing it for me. Like that's just like very. It's almost simian.
Well,
very
what
cool.
I like, what Marius nailed with this is the posture. I mean, the sitting posture. You can feel the weight, and it adds just another degree of realism to it. But yeah, that's just awesome. Thanks, Marius, for drawing along with us. Yeah. All right. Fun. So if anybody wants to still do any of our past drawing challenges, which are Wyatt.
Oh, it's only males that has venom in their talent. Okay.
Look, Allison, she's like.
I actually thought it was the females because usually it's the females that bite the heads of the males and are the most dangerous.
Oh, those were insects. These are is a platypus is it a marsupial or is it?
I don't know what a platypus is, and I don't think a platypus knows either.
They have fur. They have fur, bills, and they lay eggs. So it's like they're the weirdest animal.
Sarah Semba nailed the comment here. It's hard to explain how I feel about this.
It is. Yeah, totally. All right. So thank you so much to our audience that drew along with us. Let me stop sharing real quick.
Always, Marius. Always detail the main boobs.
All right.
I do want to point out for Danny's sketch. It's very important about this character. I never touched on it. Her blaster and her coat, anything white on her, is actually nanotech, and it moves how she wants it to move. So if you're looking at her, that does not need to look exactly like that gun. If you want to make a crazy looking weapon on the end of her hand, you want to give her giant, like big Hulk fists. If you want to give her a stabbing weapon or something, that is all that stuff moves with her because it's used to regulate her power. All that green, that's like a hot plasma that comes out of her. That stuff is implanted to let her control it. So she will change the shape of her weapons as to what she needs them to be. I just use a lot of the time. I use the blaster for what I've shown so far, but I have plans to expand on it. See the gloves there, like she gets gauntlets. See Kyle's got 3 shots on his, so it can be what. And sometimes
that opens up for a lot of creativity, and I like it.
Yep. I don't. Yeah. See, all the guns are different. The coat changes. They have a certain, it's similar quality to them, but they all are different. So it just depends on what you. Yeah.
I'm curious to know if those that did the cover art for you knew that you could change weapons.
Yeah, I told him just draw the blaster however you want. That's the beauty of it. Nobody has to sit there and try to remember. Oh my God, does the blaster have three lights on it or 4? No, just draw it how you want. It's cool.
So it's a adaptive technology, right? So
and what's neat is see how the Bob glows green and Simon glows green, and everything is reverse tech off of the stuff that came out of her ship. So the AIs, all that stuff is all the tech from her, wherever she's from, wherever her alien counterpart is from. Yep.
Holopalooza.
Yep. So it's always the green is used for everything. So
that's the secret to the power. You got to know the green.
Yep. So, if it's green,
it's good.
So does the green smoke behind also have meaning then?
No, it's just an effect. It's just something fun I was having. Yeah.
Alrighty, so if you're gonna draw along with us, do a screen capture right now, so you can have that as visual reference. And We'll wait a few. We'll wait. Okay, do your screen capture, and I'm gonna go ahead and add back in my art cam and Jared's art cam. And Rick, you can let us know when the clock starts.
The clock starts now. 15 minutes.
15 minutes. All right. Shit. Okay. All
so
right.
now you got loosened up and it's the main event. So now, Jared, now you're ready. You've gone through booped koalas. You can do it.
Booby koalas. Look, I'm going to keep them. I'm going to even go smaller here just to, show that I'm not obsessed with the larger. See?
But, that's what we came for. No.
I'm sorry.
Come on, give us Michael Turner. Michael Turner size stuff. So you said, so people don't know, so you don't know yet what planet she's from.
No, they're her whole, and I even can't. I mean, eventually, I think it's like. Actually, I do believe I'm telling it in the third issue here. It gives the background as to where she's half human. And I will explain a bit of that in the book, like where that comes from and what. But the tech that landed on Earth, nobody knows where it's from. They don't know the alien race who made it. They're very, like I said, it's like more in a hushed whisper / urban legend of the universe kind of thing like these. They don't know what these are. But they do know that they don't want to be around if they show up, so they don't have a very good, they don't have a nice reputation. So, and it'll explain later, like what the pod was, what its whole use was. And like I said, when you're crafting a story and you're crafting a bit of a background that you don't want anyone to know, it's hard to tell everybody exactly what's good because you really want to, and you can't. Because you want to make it. I wanted a surprise.
But this is a very good and loyal community we got going on here with this live stream that anybody can get into. We won't tell. We promise. I get you. You have to have some stuff for people.
Yeah, I don't want to explain everything in the first issue. Otherwise, what are you going to come back and ask me about later?
I know what I'm coming back for, but. That can't be the only thing for everybody, after all. Corey Barton just came in and said hello.
Hello.
Corey Barton, and a great indie creator in his own rights.
Nice.
So what can you tell us about her that you haven't told yet?
I don't know yet.
Yes, he does have a big gun.
I have a what?
No, it's Corey that says he got a big ... gun.
Gun, big gun.
Oh yeah, yep.
So you're making it hard to interview here, Jared.
I know. I'm very sorry.
If you're not gonna tell anything.
All right, I'll tell you this one thing. This is not her original. This is not her always her form. She actually has a human form that she can convert over into. So she has not like a chameleon, but she does swap between the alien looking gray skin and her mother was actually what do I have her as? She's Mexican. I think she was Mexican. This takes place down the original thing takes place down in the lower southwest. And
okay.
Yeah, so when she turns, she has brown hair, brown skin, she has blue eyes. Yeah. So she has a human form that she can walk around in, and nobody is, because you can't walk around in gray skin all the time. So purple hair, but she has like a chameleon aspect to her look. But it's not like she's going to turn into a dog or something later to hide or blend. You got nothing like that. Just a pigmentation change.
Corey asked what comes out of the gun. You hit it a little earlier, but I don't think Corey was in here when you did. So
in my original story, I had it where it was a prince that was born, and he had the power. I said it was heavily influenced by Egypt. He had the power of Ra, they call it, where it was like a very bright sun, burning plasma energy, kind of like Havoc from X-Men. She's got something similar. So this here I adapted. I changed the color to green, and it is like a very hot burning plasma power kind of thing. But I'll be expanding more on that later too, what she's capable of doing with it. Because she doesn't even know. She's basically everything she does is, what she learned on her own. And later on, when I do have her meet or find out more of her backstory, you'll find out that there's more to them than you realize. So
we actually have someone from Egypt, Sarah. She just mentioned it.
Oh, nice. I love the whole Egyptian thing, and I do plan on bringing. I do have one of my old characters from the original version of her. I combined into two different characters. I combined them together to make this one. But him, I'm actually thinking of bringing back in another story because I've always liked him and I want to include him. And the way I've figured it out, I think, is going to be very fun, and it ties into all the stories. So,
for sure. So yes, just to sum up a little, Corey, the gun she has can actually change on a whim into almost everything she can, like a nanite and like a nanite kind of thing.
Yeah, she's more of a blunt weapon right now, though. She has not figured out how to. Like I said, later on, I want to upgrade her stuff. She's going to get upgrades because she's going to run into newer technologies. She will have a better understanding of how things work, and she can change even more shapes and things that she can do with it. So, just something fun to mess with.
And it opens up for a lot of storylines and creativity.
Yep.
I really like that.
I see, I watch some of the Star Wars comics that they have out, and you can tell sometimes they literally are tracing screenshots from the movies because Disney and them are such sticklers for it. It has to look exactly. You cannot deviate. You cannot do this. You cannot do that. And I get it. If somebody's wearing a mechanical suit all the time, it's not going to keep changing. But if I can get away with something like that, I mean, we don't need to remember the gun every single time.
And that's also tough, man. I mean,
yeah.
You need a more perhaps a more well-known character out of like a Wolverine or a Colossus or so, a character like that for it to be easier to do, at least.
Oh. Well, they keep them pretty simple. I mean, look up the books, the Extreme X-Men for a while. They did, and they gave everybody these wild, crazy outfits. And I remember looking at them, going, "I wouldn't want to be the artist working on this every month, trying to get those."
Salvador La Roca had a busy time when he did that.
Yep, and I thought, you know what? That's why the X-Men always. That's where spandex comes from. I think a lot of the time because it's such an easy. Quick draw, they're always technically most all of them are always naked, and they're just coloring them different because it's easier.
Well, now I'm gonna read X-Men totally different from now on. Thanks for that.
You ever see that where they take the Spider-Man and they color him different? So they take the blue out of the costume and make it his skin tone instead, and it looks like he's standing around kind of naked. So funny. Because then you're like, oh, that totally changes the costume. I don't like it.
And now I'm not gonna see the new Spider-Man movie in the same light.
How many characters do you think are showing up in that movie? Because they're building the Sinister Six. I'm kind of curious who the sixth one is going to be.
Also Garfield's Photoshop excuse. Wow, he didn't even try.
Yeah, they're going to be in there. Somebody said they were in the McGuire. He made a comment. I mean, it would be dumb not to have them. Everybody is that's the bad part. Everybody got so hyped up that if they actually don't do this, it's going to backfire on them hard. They're going to be kicking themselves. Why didn't we do that?
Well, the Electro is going to be there. We've seen we've seen this. The Sandman is going to be there. And
Lizard,
the Dr. Octopus. So at least those three are from both McGuire and Garfield.
I'm just pumped for Goblin, honestly. Goblin and Ock are my two that I'm even more so Goblin because he was legit evil, whereas Ock was more controlled by the arms. So
yeah,
but I think they're gonna be fun.
I think Sandman got too much slack. I really liked Sandman and the guy that portrayed him.
They said he's going to be in, and they said they're going to de-age him for the movie. That's part of the. But they said what's that?
No, go on.
I just heard a rumor. They said that they think Wesley Snipes will be in Multiverse of Madness fighting, like he shows up fighting the new Blade.
Oh, what? Wow.
Yeah, that was like one of the rumors. He's only going to be a short little bit, but they said that Snipes could be back in doing that.
Interesting.
So, and that would be how they would introduce the new one.
That would be awesome. Seeing he was kind of the one that started it all.
Yeah, he is.
Or at least paved the way.
But they what did they say about that? They wanted him. They talked to him, but then they were like, he's too old. But then I'm like, that new guy is like almost 50. So you still picked a guy who's not going to be around for, maybe he'll do 10 years worth of movies. But I want my, what do you call it? The Midnight Suns. That's what I've been waiting for. Like Daredevil, I wanted to see the rider come through on the bike, and just like you hear a rumbling on the show, they look out the window and there's just fire trail going down the road in New York City. Like something like that would have been just insane to see. I
want John Bernthal to return as the Punisher.
He is. He's back, and they said Charlie Cox is coming back, and they've got D'Onofrio as the Kingpin. They're showing up in the new stuff. So
absolutely loved how he portrayed the Kingpin. But then again, everybody in the Daredevil show was perfectly cast, in my opinion. And Nelson,
it was.
Nelson and is it Karen's name?
Karen Page.
Yeah. Yep. So good, everybody.
Yep. Yeah, that
maybe I'll say a little on the Bullseye, but that's about it. Just a little bit.
Yeah, they teased it, and then did they actually get it too far into that, or did they just sort of let it dangling?
No, it wasn't obvious he was Bullseye, but except for at the very end.
Yeah.
But seeing he never missed in his battle fights, it was kind of easy to guess in the end. But yeah. Anyways, pencils are down.
What?
You got I gave you 5 minutes extra, Daryl. So
I was listening to the conversation. How about I think Jared, you would prefer to have a little bit of extra time, right?
What do you mean? Oh yeah, I could do another 5. You know.
There you go. See, Rick? You want
Daryl seems done. He leaned back and everything.
Yeah. I go to the bathroom. Take your 5 minutes. Go ahead.
Okay, good. So the guest has spoken.
No, I'm kidding. No. You go ahead. If you want 5 minutes, you go ahead. I'd rather see something, if you feel good about it.
Okay.
Merrick says that he disagrees, and Bullseye to him was the best part of the season. And as I was about to say before I interrupted myself, I can kind of see why he isn't that insane psycho that he is in the comics, because this was the start of him turning.
Yeah.
So he slowly already started that and showed side of it, and then later could easily become full on psycho Bullseye, as we know and love, and he kills Elektra and everybody. Whoops! Spoilers. Spoiler for those that haven't seen the Ben Affleck's Daredevil.
The scene with him with the gun taped to his hand, though, was absolutely just perfect. Like, that was one of the best scenes they did, was having those two up there on that building.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pulled right out of the pages of the book. I'm trying to remember. I had to look it up.
I love that. I love that scene in the book as well. That's from one of Punisher's books with Steve Dillon.
Now I remember this guy. Yeah, I haven't watched the Daredevil show in so long, and I totally forgot this guy was in it that much. Yeah, he was pretty good. He was like definitely on the psycho level. Like, he was playing it very well. Now that I remember it. But D'Onofrio's
he was
his Kingpin
perfect.
Was just he was absolutely perfect.
Gave me chills.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I don't want to make
even Allison managed to upload before you were finished. Yeah.
Okay, I'm done.
Okay.
Oh wow! Look at what Jared did. That looks great. You totally warmed up.
Well, I have to warm up. Yeah, that's my whole thing too. I go in cold, and it's always a little. Yeah. But I draw her enough too. They could probably do it in my sleep now. So
that looks awesome.
Yeah,
and I can't wait to see what you do with. Hopefully, you can like maybe finish it off and put some colors in there, and maybe share it with us a little later on. That would be great.
Yeah, I could do that. Yeah. I saved them all. So
let's see what our audience did. Who did anybody draw?
Yeah, this is Sarah.
Nice.
Oh, very cool.
She always draws along whenever she's available, and she does it so good.
Nice.
Very good, Sarah. Very awesome.
And I'll just quickly. Oh, hello.
We're up on the main screen. Put us down.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm doing it as fast as I can.
Such a big tease.
Yeah, you do it faster, Gerald. You do it faster. Okay. There's a reason why you got me in here.
I'm not saying anything. Did you hear me say anything? I didn't know.
Oh my God, I
just
noticed your background too. Oh my God. That's cool.
Just noticed it now.
I couldn't see it before. It was like smaller for me, and that was the biggest I noticed. It was like that's just nuts. That's cool too. I like that.
Allison, like cool job. I love
again with the
Yep, look at that. Yeah, that's great.
Great foreshortening. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome way.
Yeah. I've actually played around with the idea, a design I'd have with her where if she was trapped or something, she can actually create a face mask like Cyclops and blast out of her eyes. Like, yeah, that was a fun one. Oh, look at that. That's
it's still very rough. I think I got too caught up in the pose, but it's
I like the design of the gun though.
Yeah, I like the gun as well.
Yeah, it's like a shotgun almost.
Yeah, I remember another really cool Image comic that I loved. Remember Super Patriot? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that gun. I kind of got some Super Patriot vibes from it. But anyway, I think that Danny is a very cool character. I actually am going to go back and refine this one because I just feel like had so much potential. Just didn't get a chance to work on it. Oh yeah.
Thank you,
Maverick. By the way, love the character design. It reminds me of Metro. I never even thought of that. Yeah, it does.
I was thinking. Yeah, I was. My first thought was Mega Man with the cannon arm.
Well, it's funny. I always put it on her right arm, but it can be either arm. It can be, like I said, I've again, she gets to a point. Maybe she'll make a jetpack on her back and use the energy to take off. Like the upgrades would be endless. I think you could figure out what I ended up, or what I wanted to make sure in the story was. There's a finite amount of it. It's not like she's going to make herself an Iron Man suit and go walking around or make a giant mech and start walking around. Like she only has so much. Mm-hmm. So she makes the blaster, she makes, a backpack, or she makes, pulls the coat. The coat's completely gone and becomes part of another arm. It's whatever you want to do with it. That's the fun part of that whole, you get creative with it and you can use it for whatever you want. So, because the coat moves. I mean, she could turn the coat into a blade if she wanted to and stab you with it. I mean, like that's the kind of design it is. So, yeah.
Yeah, I just think that it's such a cool thing that you came up with, and the fact that you said anything that's white on her costume is nanotech. So that just goes to show all the design and costume possibilities that could come out of it. So just really, really neat things. Let me let's see where. All right, so that concludes our live drawing. But let Rick know if you're a little bit late to the party and just want to maybe finish one of the 3 challenges. Let him know in the comment field that you did draw, and he'll pull that up so we can share that before the end of the show. But now that we've finished the live drawing, I just want to share this particular thing. Because Rick added it to the scrolling ticker at the bottom, and let's pull this up right now. So here we have.
Oh yeah.
There we have. This is where you can find out more information aside from going to the Instagram, the 2 Instagram and the Twitter links that you see in that scrolling ticker below. This, I think Saeed was asking where you can buy issues. You can get PDFs or printed copies of issues 1 and 2 from Advent Dark, this is where you can go. It's adventdark.com. You can see that in the scrolling ticker below. It features some of that same fantastic art we saw in the elevator pitch. But
I'm still updating some stuff on there too. Like I got to read it. The bios I threw up quick, and I haven't been able to get back to it. But this is like an ongoing.
Oh,
that was.
I like the transition.
Yeah,
that is a first. That's an issue 0. I actually do have an issue 0, and that was the cover for that. That never got. I have them, but I just don't put them out anywhere. Yeah.
Well, I think that it's one of those things. I want everybody to check out this site. So here you can go to the shop, and this is to answer Saeed's question and Joe Tolliver's question about how many books are available to buy. Issues 1 and 2, and some of the variant covers. You can see that there's out of stock. So unfortunately, you can't get this copy, but there's limited numbers of this one, and I believe, so we have digital versions of these out of stock. So get it while it's hot. There are still some ones here available. So check that out. Did you want to mention anything about this particular shop page, Jared? Is it
it's just that some of I do have like whatever was left over from the Kickstarter exclusive. Those are the ones that are in there, like the Joe Holly. I have a couple left. If Kyle or Matt Flint have any, it might be in their possession. I won't have it, but if you shoot an email, we can find out if they have any more. I mean, at one point, I guess I'll just have to take them off the shop in general because, you just can't get them anymore. So, but, you approach those artists, and that's why, I send them copies so they have them for shows or whatever else. But, yeah.
Well, I tell you, if that's anything, that's a drive for any of our audience members to, people that are watching the show. If you want to support Jared and get these, they're not unlimited. They're
right.
There's only so many copies left, but you can get digital copies of certain issues. So definitely go to the shop or follow Jared on Instagram or Twitter. Send him a message if there's something in particular that you want. Commission him. I think that he would love to maybe do. Actually, do you have enough time to maybe do commission work, or your commission's closed? Are you pretty much just focusing on Advent Dark, or what exactly?
I got a small window right now. There's some stuff I'm working on and some stuff I have to keep. Like I've got a couple commissions ahead here that I'm working on right now, but I'm always open to a couple. Yeah, definitely.
So hit up Jared because if you can give him a commission that strikes his fancy and that he really can get behind, or heck, if you just want to commission him to do his IPs, his original characters, because you can already see how awesome Danny and Wyatt are, and there's still those other characters that we saw. I believe, what issue was it? The one where we showed more of the crew. I think that was we showed that in the elevator pitch. You get to learn more about those particular characters. So maybe there's a mashup. Maybe you want to do Wyatt versus the Hulk. I mean, I think that would be really cool. Or Wyatt versus Ripclaw. I think that would be really neat too. So
Wyatt versus Marius's platypus.
That would be really funny too.
Or I could do where Danny's cooking Rick breakfast. I mean, whatever you want.
So you get that, Rick? You might have to commission him to do that, and I'll leave it up to.
It's already happening in my head that he's cooking. Breakfast.
and Rick can tell you what that.
And I don't mind that he looks gray.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you can also Rick will tell you what he wants the nanite technology to form. Because she's very versatile.
She don't need big guns. Let me tell you.
All right. We had a little bit of fun there. So, this is the part where we get to talk a little bit about the future, Jared. So, I know that we talked a little bit about what you're planning to do because Advent Dark is part of the whole your studio, and you were talking about possibly Advent Dark is in the Darkstream sci-fi universe, and you were telling me before you were thinking about bridging outside of that genre, and I thought that was really neat. You want to talk a little bit about this new avenue that you're planning to explore that's all going to be under your umbrella? You want to talk about that?
Well, there are loose plans right now. I'd like to take a couple of the scenes where Danny and Wyatt end up, would eventually introduce characters that could be spun off into. I'd like to head more toward a horror and occult kind of book. I think it'd be a lot of fun while still maintaining that universe, so you don't have to rebuild everything back up, but you will get to see a more in-depth part, and then eventually you could take something from that and move it over into Advent Dark if you wanted for a specific thing. So it's definitely an idea I've planned on exploring. It's just a matter of getting everything done and then getting on to the next projects. But this current run is going to be 4 issues. It's like a volume, and I know my writer wants to do a one-shot with the Bobs. We want to do Night of the Bobs as a one-shot. So like a virus breaks out in the facility and the Bobs start kind of turning into zombies and they have to figure out why, and just for something fun to do and mess around. And eventually I would like to do a couple issues of a horror book linked in that universe. And I think it'd be a lot of fun. So.
Yeah. And you also mentioned a little bit, and I think this might overlap into what you already said, but you said something about, exploring like a deep, well, I guess it overlaps into the whole Bob's thing. You were mentioning something about also integrating a detective noir.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
There's an idea I've got for a bar at one point. I think I had it named like the Bubble and Trouble or something like that, and it's run by the 3 weird sisters out of Macbeth.
Yeah,
and everything's in there, from aliens to occult vampires, werewolves, whatever you can think of. There's little pixies sitting there having a drink, and there'd be like this detective who she has to deal with this stuff on the regular. That's mainly her job, and she would cross over with Danny, and then eventually she'd head over to her own book and her own set of adventures. And that's kind of the, as for a name and everything, it's very loose yet. I have no idea what. But I was trying not to get too close to Dylan Dog, as I know Dylan Dog has a lot of that same aspect. But at the same time, I think it would be unique enough. It would just be, it could play in the same yard.
You could call it Perry Muffins.
Yeah, I think that's
Perry Muffins.
Perry Muffins.
Muffins. It's
Muppet.
I just changed the 2 so it didn't so it sounded like Mary Poppins but wasn't.
Oh,
Perry Muffins.
Perry Muffins.
All right. Okay. Yeah. I think that went over my head a little bit, but now I understand what you're talking about. But I think that's
that would be
really
terrifying.
Because Jared was just talking about. I think it's intriguing, like this new direction that he's planning on doing, because who would have thought you could fuse horror, detective noir, Macbeth, and zombies and aliens and stuff like that.
Why not?
Why not? No
why
one's
can't we?
Yeah, but Jared is going to do it. That's just really brilliant. So
maybe the Frankenstein's monster is the bouncer at the club. You know what I mean? Like you can have fun with pretty much anything. You just got to make it. So
yeah. And you make it, and they will come. They will definitely see it. If you put that whole Jared artistic touch on it, I think that's going to make people want to buy it and support you. So that being said,
nice.
We're going to have to go to that part of the show where we go to the Oscar speech, and it's getting kind of sad here. I'm getting a little misty-eyed.
So we need to find someone called Oscar. We need to find someone called Oscar that can give a speech.
Yeah. So anyway, this is where Jared.
Oscar.
Yeah, you get to basically give us your final thoughts and any of your thank yous to anybody that you'd like to wish. But that being said, putting the mic back in your hands, and you can say whatever you want.
I would just like to thank everyone for stopping by and checking this out. I really appreciate it, and I hope you'll give the book a chance, give it a read. I promise you that I definitely have some fun stuff in store, and I'm going to try my hardest to not make anything boring. I mean, everyone loves you're going to spend your money. You're going to spend your money on something fun and something interesting and something you like to read. So, I always thank the great artists, anyone who ever wants to contribute, anyone who I can get to do the work. I mean, that's a really big deal. And that just shows that people believe in a project, believe in an idea. And, it really just feels good that you can do that. So, yeah, that'd be.
That is a great Oscar speech, and
I'm not much for speaking. Yeah, I'm all right, but
Hey, well,
I'm a visual guy.
Yes, exactly. You let your visuals, you let your art speak for you, and I can't wait to have you back on the show.
Holy fuck! And sorry. We just got a late. Yeah, and I got to share it because
I'm gonna see here.
All right, let's check it out.
It is another of. Hang on.
What do we got? Oh my God!
Check that out,
dude. That's wild.
Is this from Marius too, or is this?
Yep.
This is
very cool.
Dude, that is.
Hope Jerry enjoys my inspiration of his character.
Yep, yeah, absolutely, man. You did a great job. That's absolutely fantastic. I love it. Yeah, you did.
Cool.
You did a real nice job.
I love how the use of only 2 colors, basically purple and greens.
I'm just trying to think what his style was reminding me of. What's his name? He worked on. Oh my God. He does Venom. Clayton Crane. He's got a very he's got that Clayton Crane feel to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I absolutely love Clayton Crane's work. Like, that man is absolutely crazy. So that's got a very cool look to it. Yep.
Very, very cool. Marius, thank you for drawing along with us.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's very cool.
Yeah, Jared, you just gotta. I mean, that's got to be a euphoric feling to know that
it is.
That your IP, your OCs have inspired our audience.
We have a rig challenge from Sarah coming in as well.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Check it out.
So seeing that we are.
Lots of clicking. Click.
Yeah. Clicking as fast. Robot, Jared.
Oh no!
I will share it when you return.
All right. Yeah, Jared, can you hop out and hop back in, please?
One last, yeah. So thank you so much, everybody, for participating with the audience. Thank you, Allison. Thank you, Marius. Thank you, Sarah, and thank you, Joe, as well. I think those were it, right? For today, really great job, all of you. Great job, all of you.
Hopefully, we can get Jared back in here really quick.
Also good to see. Also, always good to see the guests. Expression when
I thought I left the link for a second.
Oh, you sound great. No more robo voice.
Here is Sarah Simper's rig challenge.
Oh,
very cool.
I think it's the hawk that you wanted.
It's
it reminds me of like Battle of the Planets. Kind of has that vibe to it.
Yeah, it's good.
Hey, that's Maverick, we love you too. Thank you for staying up late. Both Marius and Maverick are coming in from the Philippines, so it's like 3:44 in the morning. So you guys are just staying up really late. And Sarah, just like I think she's 6 hours ahead, just like Rick in Egypt. I'm not 100% sure, but I know it's later for both Rick and Sarah. So any of our international, Saeed, I don't even know where, I think Saeed's somewhere in the Middle East. So I really appreciate all of our international audience participants for staying up
absolutely.
And watching. Because now you can say, Jared, that you have an international fan base.
That would be cool. If I knew that my book was over in Egypt or something and people were enjoying it, that would make my day. Like, just, be fantastic.
Marius, you buy your own damn beds, okay? I see how much art you produce. You can buy your own damn beds.
Okay. Well, Marius, Maverick, Sarah, Saeed, I mean, all of our audience members that commented and sent some questions. I encourage you, Jared, if you want to go through the chat area later on, and if we missed any questions or if there's any follow-ups you want to do, basically just do that too. You can also go to the art show and check out any of those fan arts. And I encourage you to interact with them, because now, just like Rick and I, they are your fans too. We're so excited to see what you're going to do. And I'm going to go ahead and say it. When you're ready to debut issue number 3, or whatever that work in progress, horror, detective, noir, Macbeth, fairy, sci-fi, whatever it is.
The all-encompassing.
Yes.
How much can I stuff in the bag? Yeah.
Right. Whenever that happens, we want you to. We would be honored if you would debut that here on Comics Cast. I think that would be really, really fun. And I just can't. I know that it would be one of those opportunities where we could just be very honored to spread the word and be able to share that with our audience. Yep. So that being said, let's move to the the last thing that we do at every show, and that is this part. Oh, oops, this. And if you recall, we partner with a charity organization by the name of Golden Fight. And what is Golden Fight? Golden Fight is an organization that I like to call is big enough and small enough at the same time. Small enough in the sense that they are not a big nationwide organization. They're very localized, mid-Atlantic region, my neck of the woods. That's DC, Maryland, Virginia, possibly even Pennsylvania. But I just know that they're in this area, localized area. And that allows them to be really huge, really big in what their mission is. And their mission is to help families who have kids that are going through really difficult diseases like cancer. And when parents are focusing on the healing of their child, financial difficulties will happen. And that's where Golden Fight comes in. That's where they come in huge, because I used to think it was like 97 or 98% of the money that they would raise would go towards the families. It's actually 100%. A lot of the leadership of this organization, they just do it volunteer. It's all volunteer because they know what kind of challenges these families go through. And when they can proudly boast that 100% of the money that they raise goes to those families. So you can see in the slideshow, it's very hard not to get caught up in it because these are families that are going through really difficult situations, and Golden Fight is my hero. They're our hero. So we are not financially tied to them in any way. They're just the leadership is very good friends with the leadership here at Comics Cast. They're good friends with Joe Tolliver, and through Joe Tolliver, I've got to become a really big fan of them. I think Rick is a big fan of them as well. We are just really pulling for them. And if you would like to check out a charity, goldenfight.org is that. And if you are thinking about, contributing to something, this is a worthy cause. So that being said, let me remove that and let me change this back to this. And final plug for our guest, Jared. You can see the ticker. You can see the Instagrams, the Twitter, as well as adventdark.com. That's where you can get his back issues, whether you want digital copies or if you want the limited number of print copies that are still available. Go there. Reach out to him. I'm sure Jared can work with you if you want a special commission. Because he does have to worry about his full-time job as well as doing stuff for issue number 3. But if he has some time in there, he'll definitely consider doing some commission work. So that being said, I'm going to shed a tear, and I'm going to wish everybody a happy Sunday. Jared, thank you so much. Thank you
for having me on. I really appreciate it.
It was really fun.
Yep.
It was our pleasure. So that being said, I'm going to be traveling next weekend. So
Yes.
Rick and Joe might have something planned for next weekend. Let It Out, at least in this form, will not happen next weekend. It'll happen the weekend afterwards. But Joe and Rick might have something surprised, for our audience. So stay tuned. We'll let you know this week if that happens. Jared, thank you so much.
Thank you everybody for stopping.
Yeah, guys.
Yep.
All
right, we'll see you next time on Let It Out in 2 weeks. All right, peace out.
We'll be right back.